Welcome back to another session of Antebellum. That is the crying cat in the background already. It took 10 seconds.
That was a record.
That is a new record. We're going to ignore him and get back to it. So, last time, you guys had entered the Parchinen Caverns. You had crossed the Santa Morte Valley over the course of about 3-4 days, made the climb, survived what could have been a terrible accident, and reached the cave entrance. You delved into its depths, found a great many mushrooms, harvested their delicious juice, and were promptly attacked by a disgusting, gigantic bug monster. Despite its best efforts, however, you all cornered it and killed it. And there was much rejoicing.
Yes.
You guys tore its legs off, you took some teeth, took some selfies, it was a good time. Unfortunately, however, not long after the bug died, there was a change in the caves. A loud voice proclaimed, since you killed the cave master's dog, you would do best to leave. And a number of ominous warning signs began to grow in the cave. A crimson light, intermittent rumbling. And despite all of that, you guys decided to go closer to the source of those sounds, which turned out to be a very old elven man, clearly a powerful wizard, who recognized a couple of you, introduced himself as Lythor, and invited you into his extraplanar domain, where you have made yourselves comfortable and made a number of requests for aid. I think pretty much everybody had something for him. So Lythor's going to have his hands full for the next couple of days here, but in the meantime, you have been invited to stay with him and to speak your mind with whatever concerns you might have for him that he might be able to help with. And that's kind of where we're at now. We're going to be picking up. It is evening on the same day that you slew your enemy in the cave, the big bug, the 11th of Erndeth. A room has been prepared for Athos, and the rest of you are kind of free to pick your own rooms.
We were actually leaving off on cooking.
Yeah, dinner is about to be made.
Yeah,
and y'all kind of just have the run of the place. So, are there any questions before we pick up?
I have no questions.
All right. So, we picked up with you guys, a couple of you, I think it was Errant and Alfie, exploring the endless pantry where Lythor kept the actual good food, not the regularly conjured stuff that he usually ate.
Yeah, I think this vinegar is old enough that it's turning back into wine again.
Should we try it?
Probably not.
You're welcome to it if you'd like to make something with it. That's perfectly fine.
I dare you to try it.
Oh, real quick, Mr. Lythor, seeing as I think we'll be here for multiple days, would it be too much to ask if you could prepare some sort of training area for me? I like to keep up daily with a bit of exercise and practice.
What sort of training exactly are you?
Mostly just, it's a lot of this technique. I read in a book once called Shadow Training. I just need really a big open space, maybe some wooden weapons, but besides that, not really too much. If you had one, like a practice dummy would be great, but if not, that's a-okay. You know,
I imagine that's probably not too terribly difficult to manage. A moment, if you would then.
Of course.
As he is kind of finishing that sentence, he begins kind of like circling one of his hands, gesturing slowly with each rotation, and you do hear the distant sliding of wood panels, stone grinding against itself, and there is a light that suddenly appears about halfway down the kind of the bedroom hallway that Athos is kind of emerging from. A very bright light, as though a large passage has suddenly opened up in that direction, and he would just kind of gesture down that way and say, I hope that is to your liking. If it requires any further adjustment, please let me know, and I can make the necessary changes. Just
no. More than enough if you just
vacate the room before I do.
Oh, of course, yes. Please let me know when you plan to, so I don't get stuck in there.
Oh, yes, of course. Just, don't get stuck.
Yes. All right. I'll go.
Heading down that hallway, you would turn into that now brightly lit doorway and find yourself looking into a high-ceilinged training room, wooden floor, windows set high in the wall, letting in steady streams of sunlight. There are a number of training dummies around the perimeter of the room, sword racks and poles leaning against the far wall. Pretty sizable, comfortable, well-furnished space on very short notice.
Much better than I expected or needed. But thank you, Mr. Lythor. I want to take some time to get some exercise in. Maybe a bit of a cool down from the earlier fight, going over mistakes I might have made and whatnot.
Yes, of course. I'm glad you like it, my boy. You would hear him calling from the kitchen.
You can hear me just speaking in a normal voice. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah. Seems able to hear you even at that distance. In the meantime,
training.
He is kind of just like over Alfie and Eric's shoulder, I think, just kind of being nosy. So what are you intending to prepare this evening?
Well, I really like mushrooms, so I hope you like mushrooms.
Terrible. No, I can't stand the things.
You don't like mushrooms?
No, it's a joke, my dear.
Oh, okay.
The cave is filled with them, So, I am very excited to see what you have in mind. I'll leave you to it. I won't have a back up. Toddle over to the bookshelf. Yeah, settling in all right, my dear. He'll put a hand on Sybil's shoulder.
Oh, very much so. These books are very interesting. I actually have a question. I am very, very new to the study of the arcane. Just the last couple of years I started. I was curious, at this level of conjuration magic, are these books manifested from, like... I know you said that some of them are ones you've read, but could you manifest a book in here that you haven't read? Or does it all have to come from your mind?
Oh, no, these are actual texts from the material plane, published, bound, printed, etc.
Oh, so they're literally, you just bring them in here?
Yes, this is a persistent space. I imagine you've read of temporary dwellings and the like. This is a bit more sophisticated, I'll admit.
I guess I always thought that extra-dimensional spaces just kind of went away when they weren't summoned, but...
No, dear. A demi-plane is a persistent thing. Little pockets of existence, all for yourself.
Oh.
I've been working on this one for... longer than I care to admit, truth be told.
Well, it's very impressive and very cozy. I love what you've done with it.
Yes, I certainly went through a phase of grandeur, but it took far too long to get anywhere, So I scaled down the past century. I think it's been for the best. Much more livable space.
hard to imagine even thinking in timetables like that, but very impressive, like I said. Actually, I was curious, do you have that book we mentioned earlier, Mnemotics, on hand?
I'm sure it's somewhere. Mnemotics, please. He just kind of calls out into the air. You would hear some footsteps from somewhere in the middle of the room, kind of just down one of the halls.
Oh.
So, well, I'm sure they'll find it eventually. In the meantime, though, you said you were looking at a copy yourself, weren't you?
Yeah, so friends and I were in Asphodel about a week ago, and that was where I stumbled across the book. I didn't really have time to get through the whole thing, unfortunately. I read the first few chapters on the first night I got it, and then we were so busy for the rest of the evening that... Yeah, I didn't know.
Don't imagine you managed to take it with you.
I didn't want to steal from the library. I wasn't sure when I'd be back.
That is fair.
But
I've done my fair share of late fees over the years, but she's a good lass. I wouldn't want to encourage any misbehavior.
well, I'm trying not to get on any library's bad side. There was no library in my hometown, so I'd like to be able to use any libraries I do come across without being in trouble.
You're welcome to anything I've left lying about until I see fit to put it away.
Yes.
I suppose probably should have prepared for company a little better, but finders keepers, eh?
I suppose so.
If you need anything else, please don't hesitate to ask. And I do hope the boy will be back with that book shortly.
Yes, I look forward to talking more, hopefully soon.
Yes, of course. He'll probably shift over towards Athos and Aldrich. Is there anything I can get the two of you? If your friends have made themselves busy, comfortable, could I get you anything? Some tea, perhaps?
Wouldn't turn down some chamomile.
Chamomile, please.
If you have a spot of coffee, I wouldn't turn it down.
And coffee, please. And you would very quickly see teapots, kettles being pulled from the kitchen, floating over towards the fire, and water kind of pouring into their open spouts. Very quickly setting up to brew both of you beverages. As I said to your friends, if you'd like to take a look around, you're more than welcome. Anything I've left lying in the open, I suppose, deserves to be discovered. So have at it if you're at all bored. But you're welcome to lounge to your heart's content, of course.
It's certainly been an interesting venture. Kiko, would you like anything?
Anything strong to drink? I've got a few spirits around here. There is a smattering of sourceless applause from around the room. He just kind of waves it. Oh, no, please, that was terrible. Let me see here. Spirit. He'll totter back over towards the pantry and just kind of disappear inside for probably like 3-4 minutes. Then there'd be a very distant echoing, "Found him!" A minute later, he comes out, clutching a few bottles. It's like, well, they were buried behind a few things, but welcome to take your pick. I haven't seen fit for a proper drink like this in some time. And he'll just kind of set them down on the mantle. Kiko starts looking over them. It's like, Jesus, these are almost as old as you are. You'd be surprised, my dear. I might have those beat 2-1 in most cases. Well, most of them now. It's pretty close, actually. Yeah. Looks like everyone's comfortable. It's not I think he'll probably head down the kind of the bedroom dormitory, but yeah, he'll just kind of exit the living area and kind of leave you guys to your own devices for a little while.
Okay.
Looks like he's kind of just moving in and out of the rooms to check on everything and see they've been properly set up for you all.
Okay. So Alfie and Aaron are cooking together. Correct.
I believe that's the case.
Awesome. Okay. I found a way to bring in what we talked about last session. So.
Should I be concerned?
No.
You're about to get blindsided.
You're going to tell me the answer, and I was like, wait, I'm going to find a way to bring this into the campaign, and I figured out how. Aaron, how do you find me all the time?
I turn into a dog.
So you just like sniff me out?
I mean, you do have a real distinct smell. It's some between honeysuckle and lavender.
Oh, really? That's why I smell it?
She's
Well, I mean-
herself.
On a good day, yeah.
On a good day.
I mean, we travel and we walk. Sweat's gonna happen.
But don't say that. Now I'm embarrassed.
Her face gets red.
Why?
Never mind. You know what? I don't.
I mean, it ain't a bad smell.
It's not a bad smell. It smells good. I guess.
She's more subtly. She's like subtly like,
I don't smell that.
Well, Cat knows things. Aaron does not. I mean, it's all about the situation that happens in.
Do I smell different in different situations?
Yeah,
Okay, give me an example.
you smell slightly saltier when you're stressed.
Okay. What about when I'm really happy?
I guess honeysuckle and
Okay, what about when I'm angry? Is there like pepper?
nah.
I smell spicy. Mustard.
I mean, I ain't ever seen you angry whenever I have the nose for it.
Yeah, I'm usually yelling at you when I'm angry, so.
Well, I mean, you also yell at me when you're not angry, so.
I do not yell at you when I'm not angry.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't. When?
Well, mostly when I'm something else.
That's very recently. Aaron, can you turn into a bunny?
Why?
Absolutely no reason.
Then no.
I want to snuggle a bunny. Just like a hug. It'll just be like a hug for like 5 seconds, and then I'll put you down.
I'm sorry. I don't know how to turn into a bunny.
insight check. I got a nat 20. Tell me your secrets.
He is lying.
I know that face. You're lying to me. You know how to turn into a bunny.
I mean, in theory, ain't never needed to turn into one before.
Well, come on, turn into one. I'm not gonna roast you up and cook you.
I cannot turn into a bunny.
Or you just don't want to turn into a bunny.
Cannot turn into a bunny right now.
Fine.
Out of character. He actually cannot turn into a bunny right now.
Druids have
Okay,
limits.
4.
Yay!
And bunny is not one he's prepped.
Well, that's unfortunate. What about tomorrow?
Oh,
come on, please. You'll never have to hear me ask about you turning into a bunny ever again. Wouldn't that be nice? Or else it could just be months and months of us walking and traveling. And I'm like, hey, Aaron, do you want to turn into a bunny? Hey, Aaron, do you want to turn into a bunny? Just like that, like on loop, constantly, forever and ever.
Okay, well, you see, here's the problem with that. Because if I say yes, sure, I'll turn into a bunny. You're going to feel what it's like to hug a bunny. And then you're going to want to do it again. And then you're still going to do that.
No, I'm not. I won't be annoying about it. If anything, I'll just ask every once in a while.
Or I could say no.
No, don't say no. I pinky promise I won't be annoying if I snuggle a bunny. Please.
Burning?
No. It's not in the oven yet, so...
Feel like something's burning.
Come on. Eric, come back here. Please.
I'll think about it.
Okay, do you like extra cheese in your mushrooms? For no reason whatsoever?
No.
Okay. Do you like
the regular amount of cheese is fine. Why you want me to? You're already basically a rabbit.
I am not a rabbit at all.
Just reaches forward and grabs your hoodie and pulls it over your head, and the rabbit ears flop.
Okay, that's a hoodie. Okay. She'll take it off. I'm not a rabbit. I only had one brief moment where I got to touch a rabbit, and that was my own ears that somehow popped out of my head. You remember that? That was
did this happen in campaign?
Yes.
Okay.
There was a lot happening that night. That was like the least of the different effects.
I mean, you did look real cute with the ears.
And imagine how cute you would look like as a bunny.
I ain't cute.
You're cute. What are you talking about?
He puts his hand on your forehead.
What? Don't touch me.
I need to make sure you ain't got a fever.
Why would I have a fever?
Because you don't say that kind of shit about me.
Well, I've never had lots of chances to talk. Because you like to do the thing where I talk to you and then you're just like, sneak out the back door while I'm talking to you. So...
Oh, is that what I do?
Sometimes, yes.
Oh, really? He, leans over you? Oh, really?
Really? Yeah, you do.
Uh-huh. And, heavens knows you ain't never done nothing like that before. Where you run away from a conversation you don't really want to have.
Well, you never want to have conversations, so you're running away all the time.
I seem to be still here.
Touche. Anyways, what were they talking about? Bunny. You should still turn into a bunny. And you are cute. So, you know who really thinks you're cute? You and I both know.
It's Athos, ain't it?
I mean, I think Athos would. Maybe. But, come on, you know Sybil has a crush on you.
Wait, what?
Alfie will be like, wide-eyed, cover her mouth, be like,
Too much.
What are you talking about? I didn't say anything.
I mean, if she got a crush or something, it's probably just because I'm tall and...
You're an attractive guy, Aaron. You just go up to a girl and be like, hey, girl, come here. They'd probably come hither.
It's funny, because I ain't never worked on you.
Yeah, because you're annoying. Oh, what? Am I supposed to just swan at you going, oh, Aaron, my love, I'll do anything you want or say.
Nah, then you wouldn't be you.
Exactly. So.
Then I really would have to, make sure you got, Super size. Is that a thing you can fix with soup?
What are you trying to fix with soup?
Well, clearly if you started acting like that, you would be some sort of incurable disease or something.
Well, now I just want to act like that. Just because I think it'd be funny.
Oh no. What a travesty.
Shut up and work on your crab.
I tried. You told me it didn't need nothing.
It did, and it tasted good. And we have both been spoiled the taste of this crab before everybody else. And also, you don't remember anything I said about Sybil, so,
You might want to talk to Sybil about that spell. I don't think it worked none.
Okay, well, just act like it, okay? Please? But if you are interested in Sybil, you can go right in.
Well, I'm just coming over here. Lythor has come back into the room, curious to see how the crab/bug/soup, I guess, you're making is coming.
I'm not making soup. I'm making trout and stuffed mushrooms.
That smells quite
Yeah, I'm
actually.
making crab.
There. Seems you certainly know your way around.
Are you okay?
Forgive me, I suddenly lost the word. Kitchen, that's the one. Forgive me, I'm not in here very often.
He's very old.
I have servants for that now. Anyways, what else is happening in here so I don't embarrass myself any further over the trout and rooms?
I think
Miss Aaron seems quite focused.
Yeah, Aaron's very focused right now. He's completely
Measuring spices and dead silence.
dead silence, measuring spices, seasoning his crab. So
Sorry, I thought I smelled some gas.
yeah. Well, anyways,
It's all electric in here. Don't worry.
Yep, that's me. Complete silence. That's what I do. Apparently.
And how is the bug coming?
I mean, it acts a lot like crab. It tastes a little bit muddier. I put it more closer to crawdads than I would to like lobster.
I am curious. Is it ready for debut, or does it need a little longer in the pot?
I think maybe then he just gets the serving spoon or whatever and just eats a piece. He goes, I'd say another minute.
I'll see about getting a table ready then.
Thank you.
He'll start backing out of the kitchen again, swirling the hands, adjusting his gestures, kind of muttering a little bit, and you'll hear that from another corner of the room as you see a compartment kind of pushing into the wall. This metal banister across the ceiling kind of drooping and twisting into a chandelier. Lights kind of springing up at each of the prongs, and a table sort of emerging up from the floor, accompanied by chairs. And very quickly, multiple sets of plates and cutlery are kind of flown across the room and set themselves on the table. Yes, very, very right on cue. It's like you haven't forgotten a single thing. Good on you, boys. Very good.
That's so cool every time you do it.
Kat, did you hear what I said? What Alfie said about shooting the shot with Sybil?
Do it.
Okay.
Do it, she said.
No, it's for the best.
No, it's okay.
She said nothing.
I think Alfie would go back to the point of Sybil, and she'd be like,
Well, if you are interested and you're in Sybil, you can definitely shoot that shot and you will not get turned down. If you're interested.
Calculating. Why do you have to do this? We're tired.
Your defenses are down.
I mean, Sybil's lovely, but I don't treat nobody like I'm only interested in shooting my shot. And if it were, it wouldn't be Sybil.
Ooh, who would it be? Do you have someone in mind?
Sir Aldrich.
Insight check.
He did save your life. That does happen sometimes.
About all that experience.
$24.
Hold on. You're probably definitely gonna beat it. I just want to double check. Yeah, that would be deception. Yeah, no, Eric's is definitely messing with you.
Obviously, it's not Aldrich. Is it some girl in town that you left behind and you're just like waiting to go back to?
Yeah. Yep, that's it.
Okay, you keep your mysteries.
Your secrets.
You keep your secrets, errant. Well, if you want to talk to me about it, I'm more than willing to listen and give you advice.
You know what? Sure, we'll play this game. Alfie, what would be the ideal date for a girl?
Ooh, I think that depends on the girl. I know a lot of girls.
Let's just pretend it's you for the sake of hypotheticals.
Hypothetically, okay, I would love to go into the woods and be fed like mushrooms for something, like any mushroom, anything. I don't know. Ooh, and go swimming. I love swimming.
All right.
Ooh, like a picnic date next to like a river or a lake, and then we go swimming. But there's also mushrooms included somewhere, in either the drug form or the edible form. Well, the drug form is not necessary, but mushroom preferred. But for like Sybil, if you took her to like a library to read books and like bought her a book and like a glass of wine and flowers and chocolates, yeah, I think she'd like that a lot.
Glass of wine, flowers, and chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Are you sure that I'm the one you want to try and push in the direction of Sybil?
I'm not trying to push anything. If you don't want to, I was just letting you know there's an option available there. I mean, we have both talked about your butt before, so... I mean...
Kiko's like looking at her drink. Is like, is this fucking like getting everybody drunk?
All right. Well, now obviously my next question will be, how does it rate on a scale of 1 to 10?
It's the best butt in Haydenvale.
Well, I mean, it ain't the best butt in Haydenvale.
No, it is.
Nah, it ain't.
Yes, it is.
It ain't, because you are saying it's the best butt in Haydenvale, but I'm guessing just comparing men to other men.
No, I'm saying you have the best butt in Haydenvale. I would love to touch your butt, but I think you'd like bite me or something if I did.
I think I'd be more confused.
So can I touch it?
Ask me again after dinner.
Ooh, really? Okay. That's a promise.
I mean, you already smacked it.
I did, but I like to squeeze the button, like, you know, really get a nice... I'm sorry, you can't get me on the topic of butts. I love butts so much, and I love to squeeze them and squish them, and I just want to bite them. Anyways, sorry.
Okay, noted. You like big butts, and you cannot lie.
Well, they don't have to be big. All butts can be great.
You like all butts, and you cannot lie.
Okay, can we not talk about butts anymore? Let's go serve dinner. And I'm gonna ask you after dinner if I can touch your butt.
All right, but know that the price of it is I will tease you endlessly after this.
I will not care.
All right.
Cool. Okay.
Alfie's gonna sit down at the table, lean into Sybil, and be like, Aaron said I can touch his butt.
What? How did you finagle that?
I don't know, but he said ask after dinner, so I'm asking. And I think it sounded like a yes.
Are you sure it wasn't some kind of, like you misinterpreted something you said?
I hope not. I'm kind of excited now.
Alfie's gonna eat her dinner fast.
Give it a squeeze for me.
I'll do a double squeeze.
Thank you.
Okay, I can do that.
I feel like as everyone is filing in the table, food is being piled on. Lythor takes his seat, somewhat wide-eyed, little haunted expression on his face.
He can hear everything.
Oh, right.
I feel like Aaron would probably catch him kind of under his breath, like, I suppose maybe I probably should have figured out a way to turn it off at some point. I thought I'd need to. First time for everything, I suppose. How is everything, everyone?
What was that you were saying earlier about being able to hear in every room?
Just precautions. How's dinner?
Aaron's gonna lean over and say, "If it's a mental thing, I ain't got nothing except you can sing songs in your head real loud. If it's an actual hearing thing, I recommend beeswax."
Oh, goodness! I was thinking out loud. Pardon me. Well,
Happens to everybody.
please help yourselves, and will anyone be daring the crying roach with me and Mr. Arendt tonight?
I'll try.
Aaron makes sure to give our host like one of the easier pieces to crack.
Jinx, you owed me a
I
snack.
don't think we can jinx if we just both point at the same time.
I think that still counts. It was the same
Agree to
motion
disagree.
on the same side.
I'll try.
These
I'll
are
try
pretty
a
big.
bite.
You can share one between y'all.
I'll try a bite. I don't want to get sick tonight.
Oh, I don't want to get sick either, so I'm just gonna have one bite.
Ladies, have to live dangerously if you want to make any great discoveries for science.
Well, I can help out. One person.
Well, Mr. Arendt, then. To the future of the culinary arts. Perhaps we have discovered a new delicacy this day. Bon voyage, my good friend. He'll crack the leg and start sucking it out.
I thought he made a crab salad.
Was it a salad?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, it wasn't?
We had a lot of crab. These are
No,
these
crab,
are big legs.
crab is best made boiled with butter over them with just a little bit of garlic.
All right, Alfie will
Why?
take a piece and.
I'm not sure if I can eat this.
Why not?
Why?
It can't kill me. Kiko's grabbing one.
Oh, you're fine.
Oh, aren't you allergic to shellfish?
Yes, and seafood.
right.
And as the nomenclature goes, shrimp is bugs, and that was a bug.
Both Noelle and I are like, does this count as seafood?
I don't think it does. There's no. I guess it depends what you're allergic to, but this is not a water creature.
Well,
Is it shellfish, though?
Aaron's gonna lean over and goes, what's that mean?
I'm not entirely sure. This is not my area of study.
Sybil's a smart cookie. Could she maybe think back on any medical literature she's read about allergies?
Sure.
Don't worry about me. I'll just.
What the heck is an owl?
oh wait, Alfie would probably be pretty knowledgeable of that.
Which check,
If I eat it, I swell up and die.
Which check, DM?
All right. I guess that means it's poisonous.
poisonous to me.
Well, that sucks.
Any kind of fish.
It's not a fish. I got a 20 total.
20? Okay. If it's a shellfish allergy, yes. This would probably trigger.
Is that what you have, a shellfish allergy, Athos?
Anything that comes out of the sea, my dear. Which does include shrimps, which does include shellfish.
Wait, so you can't eat seaweed?
What are you allergic to? Salt water?
I can have salt and I can have water. I'm sure I can have the
They're
things
combined.
together.
I will die.
Never give me well-seasoned soup.
Let's not look inside yourself. You're able to find lots of salts and water.
Reese, you're being so quiet. Here, have another bit of crab.
I think
Eat all the
point
crab,
is,
Reese. Nothing
I will
bad will
not be
happen
able
to
to
you.
Well, hey, if we're worried about Athos, I guess we know something new.
Athos, you would
Don't-
get a chicken breast, while everyone else got trout fillets.
Yeah, don't worry about me. I'm used to my allergy. I'll just eat this piece of bread and this chicken.
No, you got
He
a
has
chicken
chicken.
breast. And
I just said and this chicken.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear the chicken. I just heard the bread. I
Chicken's
was like,
too
what?
close to seafood. I can't.
Haven't you ever heard of chicken of the sea?
Yes.
Yes.
Aaron will do the thing where, like, because it's a giant roach leg, I feel like he cracks it and then, like, runs a crack all the way up the leg, just splits it open.
Yeah.
Does that require a lot of strength to do that?
In the middle. I mean,
If you've been cooking it for a minute, it's probably a little weaker than
probably.
a raw crab shell, but
Alright, 1 second.
I was sharing, so you didn't have to do that.
she's
There's
trying.
a light. Alfie's face is expressionless, but her face is red. Continue.
She's trying.
I'm gonna roll to see if I like the crab stuff. I'm
Double.
curious. I do. It's a 14.
Alfie got a 16. She really likes it. She's like, yeah, you almost killed me.
It does kind of taste like seafood. That's fascinating.
I don't think Eric likes it that much, but he will eat it. He rolled a 2.
I can say this: the meat, while it definitely has a very crab-like flavor,
It's the Finnish equivalent of gamey.
not gamey. The trouble is you're definitely picking up. There is this kind of like undercurrent of like an almost kind of like a sour note, I guess, running through it.
So did magic juice taste sour?
Yeah, it's
What was the flesh on this thing?
This is where Lythor's like, I can taste the mushroom.
yes.
Undercurrent.
Yes, the magic is coursing through this creature. So white shell, obviously, when you killed it.
Yeah.
Meat inside, similarly, kind of translucent white. After cooking, the shell took on a very distinctly like sky blue kind of color, with like little dark blue speckles running along the ridges. The meat itself, though, goes like snow white, totally opaque, with this kind of bluish violet sort of veins visible, kind of running through here and there. It's a very peculiar color for meat, we'll say.
I like the idea that Aaron is actually okay with the protein itself. He is mad at himself because he thinks that the garlic butter that he usually used for crab actually doesn't work here, and he should have used some sort of like citrusy sauce to kind of like bring out the sweet sour kind of taste.
Something to play with that sour, yeah.
And Aaron will actually probably take the shells afterwards because they would be really pretty for lacquer.
That's fair. Yeah, I think overall the meat's good, but it's definitely different. There is that very slight kind of sour, probably like slightly mineral-esque kind of flavor, kind of undercurrent to it. It's like the memory of touching a battery to your tongue. You know, it's faint, but it's got like a bit of a jolt. But it's not bad. It's like, it's interesting.
It's a good battery.
It's like cooked ceviche.
Mr. Lythor, were you? Oh, sorry. I should have waited till you finished your bite. Okay, I'll wait. It's all right. Yes.
Yes. No. Quite partial, I think.
I was just going to ask. Did you intend to, individually meet with us tonight to go over our specific dilemmas, or were you wanting to save all of that for tomorrow?
Oh, well, I hadn't given it much thought. Won't be terribly busy tonight. I imagine I could spare a thought for any private conversations if you're looking for such an audience. I probably tell everyone I'll be an observation for the night. I don't expect I'll be doing much else. So if you are looking to get a private word in, tonight would be a good time to do it. I will have very little else to do. So, but if it requires any particular casting, that may need to wait until the morning at the earliest. I do require certain preparation, I imagine, for some of what I've heard already. But
understood.
Yes, by all means. I'll leave my door ajar, and with any luck, Mr. Athos will sleep soundly enough through the night that our chatter from the neighboring room shouldn't be any trouble.
And just to clarify...
Hey, that means open!
It does! Just to clarify...
Yes.
He's so proud of himself. You can hear everything we say? Or like... What about noises we make and stuff? I'm just curious. Like if I sneeze, you know, that's what I'm talking about.
What noises are you?
Like if I sneezed or coughed.
I'll be giving you a look.
I'm just asking a question about sneezing.
Yes, I suppose probably worth mentioning to everyone. I do have an intricate network of wards set upon my domain here. Security precaution, I promise. Certainly not looking to impugn on anyone's privacy, but I am quite aware of much of what is happening. Wouldn't
that give you a headache? I feel like that'd be like listening to three groups of people talking at once.
It's not so bad. When we're all sitting around having a collective conversation like this. But,
well, I mean, but usually
when folk are scattered about, it can be maybe a little distracting at times. But I can certainly tune out when I need to focus as need be. But I think.
Alfie's gonna whisper at Sybil and be like,
I can hear
you. Are you gonna read one of your spicy books tonight? Because I'm not sharing a room with you if you are.
Not gonna do that. I just was asking about sneezing. I will refrain. I'll be careful not to sneeze so much tonight.
Oh no, not
you are gonna read one of your books.
With this, I promise you, I have taken every precaution to sanitize. It's just true. You're the first visitors I've had in some time. I generally don't hear much other than my own thoughts and my little spirits scurrying about. So,
do you get much sunlight?
Well, they're through the windows.
Is that real sunlight?
Yes.
I'm not gonna ask.
Ah.
Which sun?
Ours, certainly, sir. You're familiar, I'm sure.
I'm quite aware, yes.
Yes. I have a vantage on a number of mountains in the area. Good viewing places across the Gondrums.
Oh, like if I looked through the windows, I would see a view out over the mountains?
Yes. Well, I mean, sun's setting now. Point back to the big window.
Sybil will walk over. I think she finished her food already.
Yeah. The sun is hanging low over the western mountains, slowly kind of dyeing the sky pink as it sinks.
Does this mean there's like a window floating above this mountain?
No. Of course not. No window.
This is so crazy.
Wait, is this like one of them things that's like a mirror that reflects a different place?
Manner of speaking, I've sensors strewn about the mountains. Good way to keep tabs on things.
I like the idea of him sitting in front of this window with like remote, be like, "Nah, I saw that yesterday. Different channel."
What's happening on Taller's Peak? Ooh, goats.
I think I'll leave this up today. I like goats.
The goat channel.
I wonder what they're getting up to.
I have an opportunity for something. I rolled a nat
Is
1,
it?
so there's going to be a wild magic effect. But Alfie is going to accidentally send message to Errant going,
I wonder if this is technically after dinner. Can I ask him if I can touch his butt yet? Or will he get angry at me?
and 1 second, I rolled a nat 1, so...
If you get the thing that projects your thoughts, I'm gonna laugh. What'd you get?
I rolled a 3. 3 is caster falls madly in love with target until dispel magic is casted.
So nothing changes.
We'll see. Anyways, Alfie's just kind of sitting there looking at you, Errant now, dreamily.
Sybil leans over to Alfie. You thinking about his butt?
I'm thinking about a lot more than his butt.
Alfie?
Delicious crab we're having. What did you put in this?
I am.
Interesting spice selection.
Alf and I did come with a couple of things of our own, but you actually had a real well-stocked pantry.
Kind of you to say so. It's been a few decades since I've made the run to properly restock, but I'm glad you're able to find what you needed. Certainly. Ooh. That'll be interesting in a few hours. How's everyone else feeling?
What's gonna be interesting in a few hours?
Can I get some con saves from everyone who had some crab?
Uh-oh.
Aha, it pays off.
I'm gonna go ahead and burn my portent. And I will get a 18 total.
18, okay.
I got a 17.
Okay.
What's the minimum bar?
10.
There's a reason Aaron didn't like this crab, apparently.
I'll give you Bardic Inspiration.
How would you not inspire this boy on his
He's
gastric?
gonna be like, my love! We can't be upset!
I said a
You said a-
D6?
It is a
You said a
D6.
con save.
6, yeah.
Yeah, con save.
16.
Okay, you're
You
good.
won't
You're
say
good.
my love, though, but...
Definitely feeling the gurgles. This is a strange new meat. It's probably sitting a little strangely for everyone.
We're up to a 9, and this is 9, by the way. Backwards.
Yeah.
It just barely did pass it.
Yeah.
Coming in.
It's gonna be a rough night.
Not for me.
A rough night for Aaron. But he'll. I'm sure you'll figure something out.
Well, you might want to not pay attention to your restroom for sneezing sounds.
Oh, no, goodness. I wouldn't think to trespass on that particular matter of privacy. No. The bathrooms are quiet.
Thank God. I'm gonna go.
Yes, well, best of luck in there. If you need anything, just say please. Oh, dear.
Oh, wait. Alfie will like, wait, Aaron, come back. I can help you. And she's gonna boop you and lesser restoration.
It'll settle you. Any poison, be it an injected toxin or perhaps food poisoning, I think would be dispelled by lesser restoration.
Damn.
Do you feel better?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, let me know if there's anything else you need from me, and then she'll rest a hand on your arm and be blushy and not making eye contact, and then she'll go sit back down.
He's gonna put his hand on your forehead again.
She's not running a temperature at all.
Aaron's trying to, very clearly looks like he's trying to form thoughts and is not sure how to say them without sounding insane.
Is everything okay? I don't want you to be worried. Is everything okay? Do you want to talk about it?
Sable? Sable!
Hello, sorry, what's up?
Something's wrong with Alfie.
There's nothing wrong with me.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
rude. Why would you say that?
I was just going to the bathroom. What's going on?
I ain't sure, but she's being really nice.
I can be nice. Why can't I be nice to you? Is there a problem with
She
that? Do you
doesn't
want me to be
seem
mean to you?
drastically different to me. That sounds about how she'd normally act.
Is the crab disagreeing with you, my dear?
No, I feel fine.
I
It's good
admit,
crab.
I'm glad I did not have more than a few bites.
Interesting. He's going to cast a spell. A little flash in the eyes. You are under some manner of some ensorcement, my dear. Subtle, but present. How do you feel?
Weird and annoyed.
Interesting.
It's not that far off from normal.
Yeah, why were you saying I was acting weird? You're weird.
I mean, you ain't wrong. Alpha, you made such a lovely meal. Would you mind making me a little extra with just a little bit more pepper?
Oh, you want some more with some pepper?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, she would never change recipe on it.
Wait, what? Why wouldn't I make you more food if you're hungry? Are you hungry?
Yes, deeply.
Crab has
Please.
some impact on a person's suggestibility. Mr. Aaron, if you'd be so kind, could you fetch me that bottle on the mantle?
Sure.
Alfie's...
Now, Sybil, is that out of character for Mr. Adams?
Boy, this is tough to read. I guess. I don't think so. I feel like I've seen Aaron grab a bottle before at someone's request.
Interesting.
For what it's worth, Mr.
I had the correct amount of what the.
For what it's worth, Mr. Lythor, if there is something going on with Alfie, it wouldn't be the first time. She has something. I think it's akin to kind of like a wild magic type of arcana tied to her. I'm not sure exactly what triggers it, but it's definitely been a thing that's happened. So if there is something going on, it might be worth stopping.
So
It's
perhaps
dangerous.
not crab. That's disappointing.
I'm pretty sure the crab was metabolizing the arcane energy. At least after I identified the blood sample.
Well, there will be more discoveries in the future. Alfie, my dear,
Huh? Yeah? Wait, did you
he's
still...
going to cast a spell magic on you.
What? I'm fine. What are you doing? Stop it.
Does she seem any different?
Alfie,
I
how do
don't
you feel about Errant?
He's Aaron. I kind of want to strangle him, but I still like him. He's like a really good friend of mine. Well, one of my best friends, so.
Okay, I think we're back to status quo.
Interesting.
What's so interesting? Do you want me to strangle him? Is that what you desire? Come here, Aaron.
Aaron will sit with the bottle on the table.
Thank you. My good boy.
Wait, are you actually hungry or are you just being a butt?
I mean, I could eat more.
Okay, I'll go make... Anybody else hungry? I can make more, but for everybody.
I've eaten quite enough for today, but I appreciate the offer. Thank you.
I think I'm okay, but thanks, Alfie.
Okay. Alfie will go back into the kitchen and she'll make more stuffed mushroom for Aaron.
Aaron is pleased.
Sybil will.
And she'll steal one off his plate and eat it.
Aaron just. How many mushrooms did you give him?
Like 6.
Aaron is 1/6 less pleased.
Sybil's
And
going
it's
to
not
retreat
true.
back to the living living room. I keep saying, I don't know what it's called, but
Sure.
and she's going to just sit on whatever's soft and we'll read for a little bit.
Alfie's gonna lean into Aaron now. Since it seems like things are spreading off, and she'll be like, so can I touch your butt now?
Head down to the hall here and see if we can see if we've got every accommodation necessary for you. Right, he's going to be talking quite loudly as he makes his way down the hall. That goes back towards their bedroom.
So can I touch it? I made you extra mushrooms too, come on.
Alfie, was this a runner?
Baby. You'll never know.
I do love piece of prop work. Anyway. Well, I would like to finish mushrooms first.
Okay. She'll sit patiently next to you.
I just hope she's just like.
Yeah, she probably has like a cheeky grin on her face and she's kind of like bobbing back and forth in her chair. She's like humming a little bit.
Okay, Eric will go ahead and finish up his shrooms. And then he will turn into a donkey.
No! Aaron!
What? How you be happy? This is what you slept before.
Whatever.
That's quite funny. She did ask to touch his ass. Anyways, Athens, is there anything in this room that perhaps we could, any adjustments you might require? Maybe a kettle of tea by the fire for you if you have to wake up in the night.
I think I should be fine here.
Very good, very good.
And you'll forgive me for separating you and your paramour, Miss Kiko, for the night, just so we can get an undiluted observation of your nocturnal activities.
Of course.
Very good, very good. Worth checking in. I think they're done out there, so it might be safe to head back. Forgive me for using you as a car. I'll head back and see how things go.
Alfie just looks glum.
Eric says, "Hey, Alf, have you ever touched a mule's nose?"
No.
And he like, not, like, boops her with his snoot.
She's uninterested.
Come on.
She goes, no.
Come on.
No. You're
It's super
what?
soft.
She's gonna stand up and start cleaning up the dishes.
Harumph.
Eric will help, but he will be a mule the whole time.
Aaron, why are you a donkey?
Because he's an ass.
I feel like something's happened. I'll go back to my books.
Well, is there anything else the party wants to see to before heading to bed?
I mean, since we're kind of just like filling time with random conversations, if Sybil could get a moment with Errant,
Man, I'm popular.
we're gonna corner you while you're tired. No, it's not a big deal. Just conversation that I think should have happened already and hasn't. Sybil will.
Aaron will eventually turn back into a person if Sybil wants to have a conversation.
Yeah, I would rather have a conversation with Aaron. Just when you got a moment by yourself, Sybil would walk up and say, Aaron, I had a question for you, if you don't mind.
Sure, go for it.
Well, I've noticed every so often as we've been traveling together, you start to, like, spell things with your fingers, but, like, you're not, like, forming letters, you're just kind of, like, making gestures. And I noticed it, and I keep meaning to ask about it. You haven't done it in a while, but I was really curious what that was, because it seemed intentional, and I could notice some repetition in the shapes that you were doing.
Oh, sorry, it's a habit. I'm actually talking, but with my hands.
Oh.
So for instance, if I do this, it means why.
Like this?
Yeah.
Oh. Is that like a language, or how does that work?
Yeah. It's a language. It's called CSL.
Fair.
It's canon now.
I learned it from a friend. It's used by people who can't hear.
Oh. Like, okay. So a person who is deaf could understand what you're saying by making those symbols with your hands.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's never occurred to me before, but like I said, I haven't met a lot of deaf people.
Yeah, for instance, an errant will sign and speak. And he'll say, "Your name is Sybil, and you're a lovely lady."
Oh. That's very sweet. Where did you learn that?
A friend of mine taught me when I was like, oh god, it's been a while. Well, when I was young.
Oh. Your friend is deaf, I presume.
there was a lot of hit and miss at the beginning there. I'm still not sure what this one means. It means turtle.
Cute. Well, that would be interesting to know. Out of curiosity, do you think sometime you could teach me a little bit? That sounds like it'd be good to know.
Yeah, I mean, it's real good for... Well, I mean, I ain't used it much. Sometimes it can be useful for talking without making noise.
Oh, I suppose that's true.
But ain't not too many people speak it.
I've never heard of it, so I suppose not.
Oh, that's funny. I thought it was fairly common.
I guess so. I guess I was curious too. I know that sometimes I say words and then you don't know what they mean exactly, and I explain them to you, which is fine. I'm happy to explain things. But I was curious if you would ever want me to, like, teach you any vocabulary or anything, just for fun. It's fine if not. I was just curious. Oh, she's rolling dice.
I don't know. I think I'm okay. Doing it case by case seems to be helping okay. Plus, I get to hear it in the rest of the sentence.
That's true.
I mean, ain't no need for none of them fancy speaks in my neck of the woods.
Well, having a robust lexicon can be quite advantageous, but I understand.
All right, you're that one's that was two big ones in a row.
Robust is strong. Lexicon is vocabulary.
Okay. Robust lexicon, that's robust. All right. I'll try to remember.
Of course. Well, whenever you get a moment, I'd love to start learning a little bit more of your the sign language that you do.
Aaron will sign and say okay.
Okay. Well, I'll leave you to your evening. But thank you, Aaron.
Oh, yeah, anytime. Yeah, this is a weird day. Aaron's gonna go whittling something. Probably like a town setting, kind of. He's gonna start carving a town relief.
Alright.
Sounds good. Sorry, it's just conversation I've been meaning to have for a long time. I keep forgetting about.
Now's the time for it.
Yeah.
Now that we're all alone.
Yeah. Now that you are in the quiet of the demiplane, I would say you guys are pretty.
Oh wait, actually, Sybil.
Oh.
Sorry, one more question. You might not want to listen to this one if you want to just like tune this particular conversation out for like the next minute and a half. Can you say that to the guy who can hear everything?
Is he just projecting that all over the room all the time?
You just hear his voice start up down a hallway and it kind of fades off as he's walking away.
Okay.
So Elf really wants to squeeze my ass, like the actual
Sybil
one.
immediately bright red. I can't imagine why.
It's fine, but like I also know that a big part of this sort of shit is the imagining of it being great.
Uh-huh.
So if I actually like let her do it, wouldn't that ruin the mistake?
No. You should let her squeeze it twice.
What twice?
Goodbye.
Sybil immediately just fucking backwards slides out of the room into a random closet door. Just
just whatever first door I come across.
Yeah.
Aaron's gonna offhandedly go, man, Alfie wasn't kidding.
Well, it's out there now. Great.
You're welcome.
Well, Lindis, your apprentice certainly has found an interesting group of friends. I can certainly say that, at least. Very active.
God, we're all gonna end up in a situationship.
The ultimate end game for any D&D party.
And they all lived happily ever after.
Kinda, sort of. Well, as I said, if there's anything else you guys want to do with your evenings, you're welcome to it. But I believe that eventually here, Lythor is probably going to be sequestering himself in that side room down the hall next to Athos's room and just kind of waiting and watching.
I know Alfie would want to talk to him before she went to bed.
Okay.
She'd be giving frowny faces at Errant for the rest of the night.
Sulk.
Hello. Yeah, she's sulky. She thought you were actually going to let her do it. She has permission.
He might, but he had to get more data first. You know that never beat your heroes? Well, what about never beat your heroes' asses?
Alfie has great experience touching people's butts, so I don't think you're going to dissuade her. If anything, she'll love it more. And she'll want to touch it more.
Oh, God. All right, make a note of that one.
Hey, you don't know that. That was
not making a note of that one.
So, I think if people were heading to bed, if nobody else... Anybody else had anything before bedtime?
I get the sense that I'm going to have to wait till the morning to have my conversation.
Errant, much like me, will not be sleeping much tonight.
Fair enough. And for what it's worth, Lythor is probably going to be up most of the night watching Athos. Like it's not like it's like, all right, I'll just be up for a few hours and wait for something to happen and then go to sleep. He is in observation for the night. So
Okay. I might check in with Lythor, but you can do your conversation. It's fine.
okay.
I think Alfie would knock on his door.
Yeah, it's probably standing open. Athos's door would be closed, and you would just kind of hear his voice quietly from inside. Oh, please come in, come in.
Is it okay if I shut the door?
Oh, yes, sure, certainly. And stepping inside, you would find a couple of pretty comfortable-looking armchairs sitting in front of a wide pane of glass, just a single window that kind of stretches across the wall, overlooking Athos's bedroom, where he is, curled up or sprawled out in his bed. Not sure how Athos sleeps necessarily, but it's a little kind of a strange spot, Just trying to get a private conversation, knowing the buddies.
Yeah, I think Alfie will do her best to not be looking at us while he's sleeping, because she's like, this feels weird.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I think she'd probably start off going,
Sorry if you're making you uncomfortable earlier when we were talking about my parents.
No, my dear, nothing to apologize for. Just didn't. I suppose I did not realize exactly how things had shaken out for you.
Yeah. I was wondering if you'd be willing to tell me about them, because I don't know anything. I only ever saw a picture of my like mom once, so, and that's it.
I'm so sorry. Well, where to start? I knew them for over 30 years. Well, no, longer than that, nearly 50 actually, if I think back. It was the late 460s, I think, when I first met your father. And I met your mother a few years after that. Lindis and I were orchestrating the Free Mages press. Rather, I was orchestrating and twisting dear Lynn's arm to assist in training the new generation of the resistance. But your father was a fairly early recruit, and your mother not long after him. And they took to each other very quickly. On the whole, I think that they did seem to have quite a remarkable influence on one another in the time that we worked together. And both of your parents were talented spellcasters in their own right. Never quite understood your mother's craft as well as I might have liked, but your father and I certainly had our fair share of late night discussions on the minutiae of Arcana. They were very dedicated for a very long time.
What was my mom's magic?
I confess I don't quite understand it as well as I should like. She was musically inclined, a singer, and she was able to work impressive feats. It's just the sound of her voice. It was it's truly something to behold.
My mom sang too?
Yes, you sing. Yeah. You take after her in more than a few ways, then. Yes, no, she was a singer. She was very good with people. Very good at playing people when the need arose. Got herself into many places folk shouldn't be wandering without good reason. And she helped break quite a few stories. I like to think for the better out in Ennegard. And your father, obviously, as well, though he was certainly less sociable, less of an infiltrator, but more accustomed to the planning, He was an interesting wizard. He failed his entry exams to the academies 3 years in a row, ended up dropping the prospect altogether and going completely underground for decades before he made contact with us. So, a proper hedge, which, if ever there was one, But you get plugged in with a good group, and you can certainly learn all sorts of things that never would have been in your grasp. And I think I think your parents certainly taught each other a thing or two over the years. Certainly found a thing or two out together in that time. It was really something to see. Truthfully, they were a good fit. It's a genuine shame what happened to your mother and your father. I know she would not begrudge you anything. So I would not want to put that thought in your head before you let that one start to sprout. You pluck that seed out and toss that one away if you'd be so kind. She was very eager to start a family and to see what you would make of yourself. Somewhere free from all that nasty business out west.
So you think she might have liked me?
I'm certain of it. You've got your mother's spirit, to say the very least. Certain brazenness, shall we say. She was not afraid to go after what she wanted, and to do what she thought was right either. She didn't hardly let anything hold her back when she set her mind to something. She's not one to change her mind easily. So it's a sad day for all of us when she decided that she wanted to take her leave of the press. But I can't fault her desire there. It's a noble thing to start a family and shepherd in the next generation. She thought that far from all the corruption and Ennegard, you would probably fare better. Somewhere quiet, somewhere safe, clean. Grow up around decent people and make a decent life for yourself. Never have to worry about any of this mess. Certainly sounds as though you've found yourself in some measure of it.
I feel like Alfie would shrug, really. I don't know how you anticipate Faye being an issue.
That's the trouble of it. You really can't. I certainly wouldn't have put my money on that if I were in a position to make that sort of bet.
I never thought it would be an issue either, so.
Might I ask you a question? What exactly transpired between you and this Fey contingent that you've found yourself at odds with? Is something that could be helped by any means. I'd certainly offer it if I can.
I don't know. I met him when we were like the same age. Grew up together. It was kind of, yeah, his name's Kyron. We grew up together, and for most of my childhood, he was really the only person I had to talk to and go see. My dad didn't. He wasn't. Anyways, so he was my best friend. I don't know anymore. I'm really confused.
No.
Yes. But he's now an archfey.
Right. And he's cross with you?
That's where things are weird. I don't know. It's personal. He said he loved me. And then the next day he told me that he didn't, and just took back everything that he said. And now there are people like looking for me and stuff. So, and everyone's been saying that he was trying to protect me, but I don't know. But he didn't want whoever to know that he cared, I guess.
It sounds like you're operating with opposite of a dearth, a certain lack of solid information on this front. I imagine it's been difficult to find the next step forward on resolving this issue.
Yeah, I mean, from what we heard is that there's Fae looking for me that are hiding in the military as the cover.
Ugh.
And they're trying to figure out who's looking for me. I originally thought Chiron was going to whisk me away into the Feywild. And that's not the case, because we've run into Aldrin and his brother, so they had every means to be able to do that, and they didn't, so... it seems like maybe he was, but I haven't talked to him, so I don't know.
That is,
If you want, you could take a peek at this necklace. Probably not right now, but
yeah, I mean, I can spare a glance, take a look. He'll set a hand on it and begin casting a spell. You'll see the eyes flash again.
currently what we figured out is it does a few things.
Yes, I'm seeing quite a bit in here. This is, I think messy is perhaps the best descriptor I could give you. It's not clean, what's happening in here.
I can't take it off either.
No. Well, I could see that being frustrating as well, yes. Now, messy, it's certainly thorough, I'll tell you that much. Very thorough. You know, he's warded this thing to conceal the presence of magic on you.
So you can't see any magic on me?
No. It's curious, truth be told. Your friends all had a little bits, you know, hiding in their pockets or in their hair, bracelets and such, but you were the only one who didn't have anything. I thought that a little strange when I first laid eyes on you. But no, you seemed to me a perfectly plain, mundane, unmagical young lady at first glance.
Wonderful.
Well, if you're attempting to conceal someone with magic, certainly won't want anyone to see that magic was there doing any concealing, now would we?
I guess that's fair.
Well, there is quite a bit to untangle in here. Yeah. Truth be told, I could probably spend hours dissecting that thing. There's a lot of magic in there. Absolutely. Quite a lot. And the obvious bits at the front, let's call it, it's certainly meant to be protective for whatever peace of mind that can provide. I don't see anything in there that's meant to do you any harm. Little latching situation's unfortunate, but I think if you're planning to cross the valley, there's a good chance, I think, that your Madre could be of assistance on that front. She's a bit more of a fate touch than I do, I fear. As I may have mentioned, Lynn was always the explorer, the extraplanar adventurer. I always found myself drawn more to books, study.
Yeah.
But from what little I have to work with, if this Chiron gave you this necklace, yes?
She'd shake her head.
Yeah. I can't speak to what exactly transpired between you two, but it doesn't look to me as though he meant great harm. It looks to me as though gestures at the necklace just kind of, it looks like he's trying to protect you. It's clearly fey magic. That is of no doubt, and quite a lot of it wrapped up in all this. And it seems to be suffusing not just the necklace, but you as well.
It's doing what?
Well, it is sort of radiating, off the necklace and through you. It's like a little sun kind of shining through the prism.
Could it be giving me magic?
I think giving you might be a little reductive, but I think you and that are both possessed of a magic gained from a shared singular source, it would seem to me.
So he's giving me his magic?
I think give in. I don't think there's any more choice to be made. You have it.
Oh. I guess that explains some stuff then.
It's a great boon to receive a gift like that, especially from such a fickle patron. Archfeyar. No. Not exactly paragons of emotional stability, if the histories are anything to go by.
Would there be a way for me to talk to him?
I mean, it's certainly possible to speak to anyone with the proper spell.
Would you be able to help me with that?
I can give you some pointers, I'm sure, but I don't get the impression you and your friend Sybil practice magic in quite the same way. I feel as though you may be able to bend your mind towards a task and give it a little elbow grease. You may find yourself more successful than you expect.
Okay. Do I really look just like her?
Your mother?
Yeah.
I have a very striking resemblance.
Do you have any pictures of her?
Well, a few.
Could I see one?
He will reach into his robe and pull out a what looks like a small journal, and opening it, kind of flipping through the pages, you can see there's like tons of like loose pieces of paper that are kind of like set about inside of it, and in the glimpses that you get of the writing, it looks to be a combination of like a spell book and, you know, just kind of like a notebook, general thoughts and tidbits scribbled about. But he ends up flipping through and pulling out a couple of photographs. One of them is a group photo. It looks like those old like team photos, like sports team photos from like the 30s. You know, it's black and white. You got like 3 rows of people, you know, standing at attention in a field, like in the middle of nowhere. All of them dressed in kind of this mishmash of, you know, robes and suits and tunics and you know, fancy clothes, simple clothes. It's a mishmash of people, but there's a small little bit of scribbling up at the top that just says Free Mages Press 389. And then holding that up to you says, so there's your parents right there. And he points over towards like the left side in the second row. And that's me and Lynn there in the back. Over there is, that's Philip. Good Philip. Poor fellow. He certainly had a
I don't think
go of it.
Alfie's listening to it. I think she's just looking at her mom.
Yeah. He keeps going and is like, over here we have good Pauline. Yes, she was the last one they picked up in Morrist before everything really had to kind of fall apart when I went into hiding. Davina? Anyways, yes, your parents. Sorry, your parents. So that's them there. And this, I actually do have one of them specifically. And he will pull out a photo of your mother in a long white lacy gown and your father in a slightly too tight dark suit, scarf over his shoulders, hair pretty close cuts, clean shaven, swept back, still kind of got the deep dark circles under his eyes, but a faint smile on his lips as he looks at the camera. And your mother looks like you in a wedding dress, just kind of beaming. And behind them there is a kind of a blurry floral arch. Yes, that was
Really lovely ceremony. Do you want to keep this one?
Oh, that's okay. I don't want to.
Please, please, please.
I think she'll take it. And she'll pull out her own book of scribbles. But they're all drawings and in Sylvan.
Mm-hmm.
Probably just tuck it in there.
Yeah, he'll tuck his book back into his robe.
Thank you.
Of course.
If you get a chance, you should talk to Reese about Lynn more. I know he would love to know anything.
He does seem like an eager soul, yes.
You can show him the picture too. I think he'd like that.
I imagine I have a few I could show him from the old days. His master was quite the looker back in her day.
I don't think he'll appreciate that.
No?
No.
Perhaps I got the wrong impression of your little group.
He doesn't like elves like that.
I could see perhaps how that might color one's. Yes, no, you're right, absolutely, of course. Well, forgive me if I am overstepping. I feel compelled, however, to ask. Has your father genuinely not spoken to you about any of his travels these past years?
He got mostly stopped talking to me when I was like 7, I think.
That would have been 4:30. No, 4.
He still kind of talked to me, but it's just gotten worse over the years. So I just kind of started leaving him alone.
I am very sorry to hear that. Truly. I confess I feel somewhat responsible.
It's not your fault.
Yeah. You were born in 28? 27, somewhere. You were born in the 20s. Your father came by over 15 years ago now. First time I'd seen him since your mother and he had left the press, and he was quite eager to find someone capable of casting a genuine, honest-to-goodness resurrection spell, a proper strong one, And I'd been in hiding for the better part of the past 10 years, and so I gave him what context I could, but I regret that I never followed up with him. I was being hunted. Still am being hunted, though with a little less fervency now. But I should have, I think, followed up with him. I think it perhaps may have done him some good to have a familiar face check in from time to time. But I
think Alfie would shrug and be like, I don't think it would have. When Lynn stopped by and talked to my dad. I mean, that was pretty crazy that she just went into his room. But anyways, he wasn't different after that.
And when was that?
Like 2-3 years ago.
He sought me out again last year.
I mean, truth be told, I stopped. I kind of lived at home, but didn't. So I didn't really know when he was gone in a way, but most of the time he was gone. So.
Well,
and even if he was there, it was like he was gone, so it didn't really matter.
Lythor definitely seems, I think, distressed to hear this, although he's definitely trying to keep it contained. And he eventually would collect himself again and say, I worry he is planning something drastic. And I feel that you should probably know as much as I can share, which is not much, admittedly, but it concerns your family, so I would feel ill at ease concealing anything. He came by last year and he was asking after alternatives. I mean, obviously, you know the resurrection did not take place. I don't know if he never found a proper caster, or if the casting failed, or was rejected, or what the circumstances were, but he was not terribly keen to explain himself and really only seemed interested in...
Would he have been even able to afford that?
Well, I mean, we were not unsuccessful during our years with the press. We did well enough for ourselves. I think I imagine he must have. I mean, if he was even considering it as an alternative or as an option to begin with, he must have had something lying around or some way to get it. I know it's not a cheap procedure, to say the least, but
I feel like Alfie looks
incapable wizard.
Angry.
I fear I may have misspoken in some fashion.
No, you're fine. More information. So.
Yes. Well, he came looking for an alternative. For whatever the reason, the resurrection did not pan out, and so he came asking after time magic. And not being an expert on that particular subject myself, it is a devilishly tricky discipline. I could only refer him to one whom I knew was more familiar. So, much like I've recommended to you, I directed him across the valley to the Deadmar. I can only imagine that he had some dealings with the Ave Madre in some capacity. At the very least, I felt you ought to know, before you were surprised if she recognized you or your name. And at the great extent, I fear that I'm afraid for your father and what he might be planning. It's not a light thing that he's asking.
What can you do with time magic?
Well, in theory, what can't you do with it? It is, as I say, extremely complex and unpredictable, but its potential is nearly limitless. One can accomplish a great many things with enough effort and the proper application of arcana, and chronology is perhaps the most exemplary school to that point.
Do you think he'd get rid of me so my mom would have survived?
I should hope not. But he could also just as well be trying to return to those years where she lived. He could perhaps be trying to find a means of saving her the day she died. I genuinely couldn't say or predict what he's planning, but I do know it is tricky and it is dangerous, and I know he loved your mother, but it doesn't seem proper what he's neglected in light of that loss.
Well, I guess thank you for letting me know.
Absolutely.
The last thing he said to me is he blamed me for her death, so...
God.
That doesn't bode well if he figures that out. So...
I can't defend a comment like that. It is unlike him.
I think she'd laugh. It's the only person I've ever known.
There's nothing like the man out there.
I think Alfie's gonna stand up and walk away.
My dear, she will hear his voice in her head, just very gently, saying, I am very sorry if I upset you. I only wish for you to know what I know. And if there's any further way that I can be of assistance, please let me know.
I'm not upset with you. It's okay. I've always known, so I shouldn't be so surprised. But
try to get some rest, and I have something ready for you in the morning. Try to take your mind off things.
well, Alfie is going to go to her room and shut herself in, and no one will see her.
Fair enough. I think Lythor will probably be sitting quietly in the observation room. Unless he is otherwise disturbed.
May I ask how long it has been since dinner?
Probably 3 hours, give or take.
All right, so probably long enough that Reese has completely tired himself out from training.
Fair enough.
it wasn't like training for like the sake of like getting better either. It was more like he was actively remembering all the mistakes he made earlier in the day against the fight against the crying roach. Just going over and like imagining the scenario and then rehashing what he should have done, instead of the mistakes he made, and like actively going through them one by one, fixing his mistakes in his brain, and then practicing training. But at this point, he's probably super tired out, sweaty, and done with training. So he'll leave the nice training room that Lythor has made for him, and kind of walk back out into the main area, I guess. Is everybody still out here? Question mark.
Or less.
Alfie gone.
Yeah. Reese doesn't see Alfie for sure.
I think Sybil is probably on like a couch, just looking over that book, but she seems pretty distracted.
Okay, well, I guess Reese will kind of like peek his head out, see everybody kind of doing their own thing, and just kind of ask to the room, anybody know where Mr. Lythor is? I'd like to ask if he has a shower.
You can just literally say that. He can hear you.
Oh, yes, he can hear everything we say. And do, and make any noise we make.
Down the hall.
Oh.
You'll hear his voice in your head.
Okay, he's done. Oh god, I gotta apologize to him. I was cursing a lot during training. Okay, Reese will go to Mr. Lythor's room and...
You are the least of all the sins committed on this roof today, my boy.
Sins committed in this... What are you... You know what? I think... Oh, sure. I'm a little sweat. Okay. And open the door, kind of awkwardly shuffle in, trying to like...
Asinine.
Asinine?
They'll give you a little prestidigitation, just kind of off and...
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. I was going to ask for a shower, but... I mean,
you're welcome to a proper shower, but I imagine sitting in your sweat's probably not the most comfortable.
Right. Yeah, I forgot how convenient magic could be. I guess Lynn was very liberal with her use of it while we were traveling. But, it seems I have missed dinner as well. I apologize for that.
You're quite all right, my boy. I think there was more than enough activity at the table that you did not miss too much. We're not missed too terribly. Forgive me.
Okay.
There's a...
Reese's like confused look, like, what happened while I was training? Okay, whatever. Anyways, well, don't let me bother you more, Mr. Lythor, sir. I should probably go.
Simply waiting for the confirmation. He'll just kind of gesture at the window in the room, and there's the two armchairs he's got sitting facing it, and on the other side of the window is Athos's bedroom, where he is currently curled up in bed.
Oh, I think Reese has just now taken notice of that and is like, oh, you're in the middle of... Do you mind if I ask you a few questions then, perhaps? I've been a little curious.
Please.
I think Reese will kind of gingerly walk towards the armchair and be like, may I?
He gestures.
Thank you. Very, very politely kind of sits down, hands like twiddling in his lap, like he's looking at him, like trying to think about what he's going to say. Like, what should I ask about? Well, maybe I should ask. Hands his lips. All right, I guess to start, so you obviously know, or at least have an inkling of what Lynn suspected is going on with Athos.
He nods.
Would this be a pertinent time to ask a question about it, or like, because I as you said earlier, I have already been exposed, shall we say, to the nature of this affliction. would you like me to wait until the whole group kind of makes a decision to ask?
Well, I suppose it depends on the question. Certain aspects of this will require level of background information, I think, to explain his situation. I take it you are not familiar with the term yourself, beyond Linda's mention of it.
Beyond just reading it in the letter she told me to burn. No, I have very little. I did. Immediately after she told me to. Usually when Lynn says to do things like that, better if I do them immediately, else comes back to bite me in the butt, if you will.
A good policy.
Yeah, I've learned that traveling with her for the years. Definitely listen to Lynn when she tells me to do something like that, very matter-of-factly.
Oh, that too.
Yeah, you know what? If anything, I guess I mean, yes, I'm curious about Athos's condition, but it seems you're still in the process of observing him, and I guess my
really confirming. I trust Lynn's differential diagnosis, but
well,
I can certainly cling to a hope that is otherwise.
Well, I mean, it would be nice if so, but she said she suspected that it was said affliction. But I don't. It didn't sound like she sounded very sure, and that's why she directed us to seek you out.
Well, Lynn is, as I've mentioned, the more adventurous of the two of us. So I mean, we go centuries back. Of course, we came up in Illyria before it fell.
Wait, all the way back then?
Of the
Yes,
sea.
yes.
What was Lynn like back then? That's such a long time.
I didn't know her then. She was she probably wouldn't appreciate me saying so, but she was the daughter of some collegiate scholars in the old city before the purges, and quite the gifted student, from what I recall. But she fled the capital to escape the advance of Ennegard's troops. Her parents, unfortunately, were not so lucky, and she spent the next several decades in hiding before she got involved with the Vaergose, and became a little more active on the national stage. Certainly made a name for herself then, and spent a good century off plane, lying low, shall we say. But no, we only made acquaintances not long before the fifth incursion, back in the 2030s, 2040s, somewhere in there. I had been a scholar, an archaeological scholar, interested in Illyrian texts, recovering suppressed publications.
All was lost in the fall.
Yes, yes. And I had taken quite a shining to the void. It was an extremely intriguing notion to me. But Lynn had already spent quite a bit of time off plane, and I suppose had taste for exploration by the time we finally linked up. And so when it did finally come up in conversation, she knew enough to know that knowing any more could be hazardous to her own health. So we refrained from discussing the subject in any greater detail, lest she run afoul of this danger herself, as she could have made herself more vulnerable in the knowing.
This is an affliction strong enough to even affect Lynn, is what you're telling me?
Absolutely, yes. Anything that lives.
Oh. I mean, Lynn
Anything
is...
that exists, really.
Really? Wow, okay.
Quite frank. Although this particular manifestation is, I'd say, unique to conscious things.
Huh.
But I shouldn't speak too much more on the subject.
Yeah. I think that does explain a little bit of Lynn's, I guess, urgency with how she asked me to destroy the paper and not speak about it to anybody.
It is not a subject the curious would be bold to pursue. Sure, satisfying that particular curiosity could not, or could prove ruinous in the wrong circumstances. And better safe than sorry.
I fear I might have made a mistake in that regard.
That's so.
So on our journey here, we met a secluded, shall we say, I guess, sort of a librarian. I mean, well, so we met a bugbear. I think his name was Govin. Who he lived on his own. He has a brother who owned a bookshop in Marble Butte. And we sought him out for information on, on Athos's affliction. I, of course, knew specifically what I was looking for, but the rest of the party was kind of just looking to look. We were also delivering some books for him. That's a side thing. But I did telepathically ask Mr. Govin if he knew about this affliction, and I did specifically mention the name of it to him. So have I does this require should I send him a message or
does this individual strike you as a terribly sociable chap?
Oh, definitely not.
Does he strike you as the adventurous sort who is prone to leave the plane in search of adventure and greater knowledge?
Also definitely not. No, he very much stayed there.
Then, unless the worst should befall our world, I believe he will likely be safe.
Oh.
But
okay.
Should the worst befall us, he'll be the first to die. So, you have that on your conscience.
Oh, okay. I think Reese is just kind of sighed a sigh of relief, and then you said that, and he's just oh, back to the, okay.
I'm joking, lad. Breathe, my boy.
Look, I take everything very seriously that I am told by people of your stature.
You really shouldn't. Let that be a lesson to you.
It's conflicting things. Lynn's told me otherwise, so I either way.
There will come a day where you will need to learn to exercise your own judgment, Reese. And I pray that you come to trust your instincts sooner than later. They are ultimately your greatest and only really trustworthy weapon against all the evils in this world. We will not be here forever.
Right. I don't know. I made a mistake in an earlier, I guess, shall we say, adventure quest that we did that almost cost the lives of actually the people of Haydenvale. It's a very long story, but essentially I let slip to a malicious faction that Haydenvale was a cause for some of the problems they had. This is the best roundabout way I can say it without really having to go into detail. And I did this under the guise of one of their leaders. I don't know how much Lynn actually told you about me and my abilities, but
You're changeling, yes.
okay, so you know that much.
I have an eye for these things.
Okay.
Forgive me for prying, but
completely okay. Lynn trusts you, so I trust you through her. So I am not worried at all if you know. Also, I can do this, and he'll just conjure up a psi knife, a soul knife, and just kind of flip it around in the air, and then make it poof. But
I imagine that's not everything, but
a few more things that are useful here and there. But anyways, back to my story. I made a mistake, and it almost could have cost the lives of people at Haydenvale. I mean, Alfie's teacher, Sybil's mother, people that have also taken care of me and Lynn and I while we were staying there for the last year or two. I don't know. I thought in the moment I was, being very ingenious and doing really tricksy thing, but I wasn't thinking about what the consequences would have been, and that's just made me really question, I guess, a lot of what I do. I think Reese kind of sits back for a second, eyes staring off to the distance, very kind of just scrunched face, thinking, I feel like I'm not ready. I mean, I know what Lynn taught me, and she gave me these skills, but at the same time, those skills are very particular in their use, and I just feel like I don't know anything about everything else. And
well, I think Lynn would not have taken on an apprentice lightly. She is not exactly the nurturing educator that I fancy myself to be. She was always a woman of action, and for her to take anyone in, I think, speaks to her assessment of their capabilities and potential. So you certainly have Lynn's confidence that you are capable of great things, I think. But the point of your mistake, if you had not acted, what would the outcome have been, ultimately? Were you not involved at all?
If our party, if me specifically, or all of us were not there?
If you were not engaged in whatever heroics you were engaged in at the moment, if you had stepped away from that particular challenge that led you into this conversation where you let slip, I mean, what would have come to pass if you all had simply continued on your way to, I suppose you were on your way to see me?
Yeah, well, I imagine, so this was an interaction, an altercation with the kin of Kalal. I don't know if you know very much about them. They seem to be a relatively new.
Can't say that I recognize the name, no.
Essentially, they are this organization that seeks out tieflings and devil, quote-unquote, magic to eradicate it. And I guess if we had just kind of let them be, they would have continued to seek out other people to kidnap and imprison, and just been a general bad force in the area, I guess.
It sounds like the insurrection all over again.
The insurrection?
340s, I think. The Zaxxon insurrection. Lynn and I were involved in a number of altercations with some upstarts groups up north. Turned out that they had a lot of backing from some powerful financiers in the capital. It would not surprise me in the least to hear that this was another one of those projects. But I digress. You were saying.
Yeah, I guess to answer your question, if we hadn't done anything, they probably would have attacked Haydenvale anyways, because they had sent a group of men there, and we, as a party, had apprehended them there. So they were still in jail. They are still in jail at Haydenvale, I assume. So I guess it wouldn't be it wouldn't be too far to say that they would have attacked Haydenvale anyways. Not to say that to like absolve me of my mistakes, but just logically conjecturing.
They would have hurt more people if you hadn't intervened.
Right.
You did intervene and potentially stoked that flame. If you had failed, certainly things would have been worse for those people then. But ultimately, you, I presume, dealt with the problem.
Yeah, they won't be bothering anybody anytime from here on out, unless some powerful magics resurrect them all, shall we say.
Can't say that's a terribly common thing, so I wouldn't count on it.
Right.
Well, I think, my boy, you perhaps overplayed a hand in the midst of your work, and I don't think you should neglect the possibility that if you failed after so doing, many more people would have been in grave danger due to your actions. But you did what you had to address the problem and see that the danger was adequately subdued. And I think, if nothing else, you certainly seem to have an instinct for that. And I would trust that impulse more than any trickery or secret techniques that Lynn may have taught or foreseen you developing. It's not a matter of being ready. You see something wrong, you do something about it. It's as simple as that. And you do what you can. If you're not in a position to take drastic action, you do what you can.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Don't beat yourself up too much. Still got a lot of work to do in the future, I'm sure. So you need to be on your A game.
Right. Oh. That being said, actually, change of topic. Oh.
I think I see a little darkness in there.
Oh.
If you look over through the window, you can see Athos. Very thin, black trickle of mist kind of emanating up from his face as he breathes in his sleep.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about has been happening pretty much every night.
One moment then.
he's going to snap his fingers, and on the other side of the glass, you will see a brightly colored red and blue macaw appear on the bedpost in a puff of smoke. And it's going to kind of just clamber down and work its way across his bed sheets to get a look at him. You look back at Lythor, his eyes are kind of rolled back into his head. And a second later, he'll snap his fingers. The bird vanishes, and he says, "Well, that's unfortunate."
Boy. So, Lynn was right.
Yes, I fear she was.
Luckily, it does not seem as though it's terribly intensive tonight. That bodes well. Is he, has Athos been exhibiting any strange behavior during his waking hours? I recall mentioning some mention of sleepwalking, but any strangeness while he's actually awake?
I think Reese will be thinking for a few seconds. You know, actually, whenever Athos used magics in any of our battles, actually, he would throw out a spell, and it would look like a wash of black, smoke, of black energy. And he'd usually say something like, it was supposed to be fire, or that was supposed to be something else, or, and I wasn't really paying attention too much, being as it was in the middle of combat, but...
What about his behavior? Anything noteworthy, strange changes from before the curse? Well, actually, point of order. Did you know him terribly well before?
No, actually. Lynn and I had only met him maybe a couple of weeks, a month before we actually started on our journey. We actually met him at a graveyard. He was...
Well, that's a little strange.
At a graveyard. That's all I'll say. Yeah, we pulled him along with us because Lynn saw something in him. Knowing Lynn and her whims is kind of difficult, so I just kind of follow along, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I did not know him before all of what happened to him happened. I met him only fairly recently, if we're going by time terms.
But otherwise, not too much to remark on beyond the spells and the graveyard.
No, he's almost overtly flirtatious. He's very stingy with his money, but those are kind of like normal people things. It's nothing, I feel like that's quite out of the ordinary.
No, I suppose not.
Yeah, I don't... Racking my brain, but nothing else really in particular stuck out to me, at least. I don't know about the other members of the party, but that's all I could really point out as being odd.
Well, I suppose it's a question for the morning. Bodes well, though.
If you say so, then I'll trust that.
Well, we take wins where we can get them in this particular situation. If you'll forgive me, Reese.
Oh, of course.
I believe now that Mr. Athos is active, could behoove me probably to take some proper measurements and try and see if I can't get a little better picture of what's going on in there. But I would be more than happy to resume this conversation tomorrow evening.
Yes. I've still got plenty to ask you about. I mean, you mentioned the Libergotia.
I imagine, yes.
Yes, but of course, don't let me stop you from doing your work.
Yes.
Well,
I imagine you'll be here for another day or two at the very least, so we will find time, I'm sure.
Right. I'll thank you for your words of wisdom earlier, though. I'll think upon that and ruminate.
Please.
Thank you. Duck out the door after bowing slightly.
As you're leaving, you'll see him actually like kind of pulling a bag out from beside his chair and starting to pull out, this tall like metal pole from inside that shouldn't fit, and a stand and some lenses, and looks like he's getting several apparatuses ready for some test tonight. So,
right.
With that, I think this is a good place to take a break if we're going to have one tonight. Otherwise, we could just jump straight to the morning. Do we need to take a break?
If I could have like 2 minutes to go get a refill on my drink.
All right. Water break, back in 5.
Okay, switching a break.
All right.
I've got.
All right, stream it back.
Alrighty, so picking up in the morning. I think Lythor would probably make the rounds to everyone else's rooms. Just kind of quietly knock on the doors and message the occupants. I'm having breakfast prepared, and think it best we meet to discuss your friend before he wakes. I would rather not have to exclude him, lest I instill any serious anxiety on his part.
Okay, I'm awake. Yep, okay.
Like, there's like 2 knocks, and right before the third one happens, the door opens.
Oh, you're awake. Well, getting everyone into the living room, there's muffins and a lecture. So, suppose you should probably.
Well, I know it ain't much, and it ain't magic, but Aaron's gonna give him what he carved over the not sleeping much.
Gotcha.
And it is a relief of like a corridor in a town. I know you probably don't get to see the city much, and I mean it ain't like the city, but if you ever get feeling like seeing it again.
I mean, his eyes genuinely kind of crinkle up, and he gets a big smile across his face. Thank you very much. It's beautiful.
Eric will nod and then go to the dining.
Okay. I definitely think he would want to like shake your hand, just clasp and genuinely thank you for it before.
I mean, you're doing a lot of it. You're doing a lot for us. It's the least I can do. I ain't got the smarts or any of that shit, and you're helping Alfie and Athos out, and that means a lot.
Well, as I said before, a friend of Lynn's apprentices is as good a friend of theirs as of mine. I confess I haven't slept last night. That may not have made a lot of sense. But you're all very welcome. I'm very happy to help. So please don't think too indebtedly about. Oh goodness, I certainly need some coffee before this. This is going to be a mouthful. Forgive me. Away.
Well, I do come armed with some very strong tea.
Tea is also welcome. So,
the only way to get out this out of bed some mornings. What?
Let's leave him there for the moment.
Oh no, he just said it offhandedly and put like a chuff.
But certainly, yes, everyone else. Getting everyone into the living room, coffee and tea is being prepared. There are already fresh baked muffins that are being set out in front of you on a small coffee table in front of the fire. I imagine everyone's probably pretty bleary-eyed, like
Shrivels in his pajamas, glasses askew, barely open.
And here, let me get that for you.
Thank you.
Lythor is taking up a position in front of the windows, which are, showing that scene from high up on the mountainside overlooking the Santa Morte Valley. The sky is like that kind of like solid, shadowless blue before the sun begins to kind of break the horizon. No sign of sunlight yet, but no shadows really to speak of either. It's just blue across the landscape. That early, like 5 a.m. lighting. And he would kind of be sitting with his hands kind of behind his back and kind of wringing them as he's kind of pacing in front of the window. Says, I am... I suppose I should inform everyone that Lynn's suspicions were indeed correct. So her diagnosis holds under my inspection, and I believe
what I have to share with you, as I mentioned yesterday, could put you all in significant danger should you run afoul of this malady in the course of your extraplanar adventures. So the question stands, who among you intends to travel the plains later in life and would rather preserve some measure of protection for those days? If that is the case, I would urge you to return to your chambers and leave the burden of this knowledge to those who can bear it.
I don't think I have much life left, so not much of a risk on my part.
Well, there's two of us then.
Arendt is just going to look at Alfie.
Alfie is not really paying attention. She's just sitting there.
Kind of out of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alf, you planning on going to any other places than here? Ish.
What? No.
You need some extra tea?
No, I'm okay.
I'm gonna talk to you later.
I've given it some thought. I was kind of 50-50 about it. I wasn't sure, but I think I would rather know.
Very well. Well, where to begin? I suppose the first question then, might I ask how familiar you all are with planar theory?
I knew the basics.
Passingly then. Well, all right. We'll try and make this quick. Yes, Reese. Oh, you are
Can't
dead
hear
silent.
you.
Oh my gosh, I was muted this whole time. How much would Reese have been taught by Lynn? I guess is my question.
The basics, probably.
Basics.
I mean, she probably would not have gotten into extreme depth, but he'd know the fundamentals. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So, brief refresher then for those who are familiar, and an introduction to those who are not. So, traditional planar theory posits that the nature of the cosmos, its structure, is akin to that of a great wheel. Yes, the material plane, our world, exists as sort of the hub upon which the axle turns, and around it are a great many spokes. The elemental planes, the outer planes of gods and fiends, and beyond them, they are surrounded by the astral plane, and beyond that, there is the distant, ineffable, unknowable, the far realm. Yes. Now, it would be a more accurate description to say that the cosmos are, in fact, a great many wheels. Yes. There are many worlds, many planes like our own, many worlds of fire, many worlds of water, many worlds of heaven and hells, all manner of things in between. And all of them are, in fact, encompassed in this great sea. Yes, Eric.
Sorry, quick question. Aaron's gonna tap his staff and summon Flicker.
Oh. Well, hello.
So this is Flicker. I think he comes from one of them other places. Is this gonna mess it up? Or does that count for this?
No, he's quite all right.
Flicker is yes, as you say, an elemental, a being of elemental fire. That being a fundamental energy of the cosmos. Yes. Now, there are many planes of fire, many planes of light and law and darkness and chaos. Planes like our own, planes of bottomless seas, all manner of worlds, an infinity of them. Yes, all of them contained within a great sea of thought and emotion, the astral sea. Everything that we think, everything the gods think, all of it surrounds and contains our worlds. And beyond that sea, there is indeed this far realm. Now, the traditional school of thought held that the world, that the universe, existence, was the astral and everything it contained, and that the far realm existed outside the normal rules. However, a model emerged in previous centuries that has held quite true in our observation ever since. It would be incorrect to say that this place, this maddening, chaotic place, is outside of existence, because surely it does exist. We have ample evidence of its existence. So the question stands: what exists outside of existence? Anyone?
Nothing.
There we go. Good one. All right. Yes, Reese. Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
Nothing.
That's what Lynn told me.
So, there is nothing outside the universe, and that has in fact proven to be the case. We call it the void. It is not a proper place like our world or like any plane, but one can reach that nothingness, be surrounded by it. And within that nothingness, one can find other universes, other astral seas, other planes, worlds completely disconnected from our own. And more than that, there are singular planes, worlds that come into being spontaneously in that nothingness and in time return to it. They appear, they live their course, and in time they die, and they wither away. The only real property of this void that we have been able to observe, it would be more accurately framed as a property of existing things, in that unbounded, that which exists cannot retain its shape, its form, or its function outside of a proper habitat. If you were to take a stone and somehow throw it out into the void, it could not remain a stone as such. It would unravel itself. It would fray and become dust. And this is true for anything that touches the void. Worlds, people, everything. And what your friend Athos is contending with is an affliction akin to an infection by the void, which is a difficult thing to visualize.
Because we are speaking, of course, of nothing. It is a vacuousness, an emptiness. There is nothing there with which to cause any sort of infection or anything of the sort. It is more of a yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself, I think. Yeah. He holds up a hand. Should speak of the soul for a brief moment. Soul is very central to your friend's situation. Your friend is, like all of you, of course, possessed of a soul. The soul is formed by the body. It is a collection of your spirit. It is formed by the shape of your mind, which the spirit gives rise to through your senses, your experiences, your thoughts, your memories. And when your body dies, your soul is laid bare to the cosmos and given over to the gods, of course, for their protection and mercy. Now, typically speaking, the soul is a sort of a three-part organism. At the very base, you have the spirit. Yes, this is the wellspring of your being. This is the furnace, the crucible from which you arise as a person. And normally, the spirit gives shape to your memories, to your thoughts, to your everything that makes you who you are. But the trouble we've run into is that your friend has come into an affliction of the soul, wherein there is a space within the spirit, an emptiness. A kernel of this void has found its way inside of Athos. And this kernel, seed, vacuum, it causes a severe disruption to the typical processes of being. It is what Lynn accurately described to Reese, what is called being void touched. We don't fully understand how this phenomenon functions, as we currently lack the arcane apparatus to see within the spirit. And then up until the fall of Illyria, there was, some progress being made on that front until things, fell by the wayside, and that's another subject altogether. But point being, research on the subject has been rather stalled these past hundreds of years, and not much has advanced in terms of our understanding. But the theory goes, somehow this emptiness makes its way into the spirit. Total, abject emptiness, much unlike the void outside of existence. That which is does not know how to retain itself, to persist in the face of this endless expanse. And so you have this unraveling mechanism happening within the spirit. And it means that the soul is eroding from the inside. At the same time, however, we believe that the spirit is doing what it is intended to do. It is giving rise to memory and to thought and to consciousness. But it is doing this both outside, in the greater minds, in contact with the body, as it always has, and it is also doing it within, in this new space that has opened up. And this mind that is taking shape within the spirit, the second mind, this inner mind, it is continuously unraveling and degrading, and yet it continues to build and to grow. And so you end up with this second sort of person growing inside the original. And this second person is constantly in flux. They're changing and breaking down and growing anew and forgetting and warping. And in the end, there is not a moment with this inner being that passes where they are quite the same person they were before. It is very difficult, we imagine, for a thing to maintain continuity with its past when it is constantly breaking down like this. And so there is this constant tumult within the spirit, and we believe that this has some significant disruption on the self. We've observed in folk who have suffered this syndrome in the past. They've undergone progressive changes of personality, demeanor, motive, desire. And these changes can come slowly in some, or very quickly in others. And there's circumstantial evidence as to why this is the case, but we don't have much to say that is conclusive. Only that without fail, every single person who has ever learned the extent of their condition and our theory regarding its mechanism has seen their condition worsen dramatically, very quickly. Which gives us some sense that perhaps we are onto something, at the very least. In the end, though, it is not unlike sort of possession, in a way. Only instead of some outside force forcing its way in, you have this new thing growing inside of you, being broken and remade continuously by a darkness that shouldn't be there. And on a long enough timeline, victims of this syndrome, the void touched, typically wind up as completely different people than they were before. They lose all sense of their previous selves and are subsumed by this melding of these identities.
Is there a way to stop it?
Well, there are methods. And I should preface this by saying I do have some hope for your friend's situation. In my observations last night, and based off of what you and your friends have told me thus far, I do think there is reason to be hopeful. Athos seems to be a remarkably well-adjusted individual for someone with a hole in their soul. It seems to be holding up quite well, and I am loath to disrupt whatever equilibrium he's established by
putting any of this into his head. But in the worst case scenario, lacking any alternatives, there are very old procedures that can be performed, which can ultimately leave Athos with some small measure of his soul intact and untainted. There has not been much in the way of innovation on that front, unfortunately. So I fear that the old methods have not gotten much less brutish over time. But they do involve certain breaking and splitting of the soul into pieces in search of one that is, uncorrupted. This just have the unfortunate side effect, of course, of leaving multitudes of persons' souls tainted and without hope of recovery, floating about out there in the ether. But such is the nature of the beast. Yes, Sybil.
To expand on Alfie's question, historically, has there ever been someone who has been fully cured of this? And did they, or I guess I should ask, maybe, has anyone been cured of it without having their soul ripped to shreds?
To my recollection, the first documented case of such an infection, as far as Illyrian records knew, dated back thousands of years. And it involves this soul-splitting procedure. The individual, as I understand, was cured. And they are functionally the same person, despite the diminishment of the soul. The trouble of it, of course, being that there are however many myriads fragments of their soul without any hope of recovery, locked away somewhere,
right,
where they can't do any harm. That said, there have only been perhaps a dozen or so of these cases recorded by Illyrian chronicles, and whatever cases Ennegard has come across since their ascendance, they have kept under lock and key, excruciatingly well hidden. To my dismay, it is one of the few things Lynn and I were never able to recover in our many, many efforts to liberate the chronicles of yesteryear from Ennegard's control. But, I do have some hope, because, typically speaking, when it comes to these cases, the void touched becomes so by traversing the void. It is something to do with the exposure to this pure emptiness outside of existence. It does something to the mind, and some opening is made that allows the void passage inside. I am not, again, entirely clear on the mechanism. However, you all mentioned a sword. You said that Athos, you believed, came into contact with a sword while
grave robbing.
Grave robbing, yes. Here, in the Meirlands, quite a far ways away from the void, or any trace thereof. Which gives me a small measure of hope.
there does seem to be alternative means by which one can become void touched. And if that is the case, perhaps this method of infection could be reverse engineered, could be inverted in order to extract this vacuum from your friend. As abstract as that is to say, I believe this sword could be of use to us.
Not to be overly pessimistic, but would that not require quite a lot of research by experts? I mean, solutions to millennia-old problems very rarely get found quickly. And I don't know how much time Athos has.
Oh well, this is true enough. Cannot say that it would be a timely solution, but I do know, at the very least, your friend does appear to be in a stable position as of right now. I understand that he has exhibited some frightening symptoms in his sleep, but given that he seems to perceive this second entity as a separate individual from himself as of yet, the fact that this inner mind remains individuated, has not been integrated into his own, is a very, very promising sign, I believe. And as long as he can maintain that equilibrium, and there are cases of this condition maintaining a certain stability for years. But obviously left untreated in time. Yes, they certainly degraded. I would hope, at the very least, that Lindis would avail herself of us in time, once she has completed whatever pressing errand drew her off plane. But in the meantime, this sword, at the very least, I think warrants some investigation. I think that is, at the present, our most promising path forward. Yes, Rhys.
Well, it seems I think we mentioned this yesterday. There is a group who seem to be seeking out this sword, and who also seem to have members who are also void touched, but I guess in the same manner as Athos was, because they seem to know that the sword itself was the source as well.
Yes, I recall this. Was there names for these individuals? Did you get their names when you spoke with them?
So the man that we spoke with, his name was Kilroy. He was the one who had been traveling, or is still currently traveling, looking for pieces of the sword. We met him back at Asphodel, but he told us that he was working with a group based out of, I believe, Laramie, dealing with this issue, and he specifically told us that there was a woman named Eileen, I believe.
I have a drawing of her.
Yeah.
Alfie would pull out her notebook and show it to him.
But Kilroy did say that Eileen was also void touched, or at least he hinted as much, without saying the actual name. But it seems to be that Athos is not the only case of this level of being void touched. If what you're getting at is kind of the theory we have.
There is more than one life at stake here, it would seem. Did they say how they happened to become afflicted?
I think they said that they came in contact with the sword.
Right. Or at least a piece of the sword.
I see. and they're now looking to recover it for likely much the same purpose as we are. Well, whoever's running that operation, I imagine, has a decent enough head on their shoulders. Enough sense, at least, to see some path forward. But yes, no, I think this sword warrants some investigation. And I intend to make some inquiries myself today regarding that weapon. As well as a couple of other things, I think. But that is about where we stand as far as Athos is concerned. I can't say that I will have more to say on the subject until I have performed the proper rites. But understand now that you know, should you yourselves become exposed to the void, this darkness that could inhabit your soul would now have a conscious blueprint from which it could draw reference, and further its growth and expansion within you. At least that is our suspicion as to its nature.
So, perhaps you already covered this and I overlooked it, but what this void, I'm just trying to figure out the behavior of it. Like, what is it making Athos do? Like, if it has its way. I know he spews that dark smoke.
Yes. It's the tricky thing when we are speaking of nothing. Attempting to ascribe a motive or behaviors to it is somewhat difficult, paradoxical, you could say. The real trick of the problem is well, it is the reaction of the man who gazes into the abyss and finds that it is staring back at him. Existence and nothingness are antithetical. Fundamentally, they are the most polar opposite things you could possibly imagine. And to have nothing inside of you, I imagine, it does something to a person in ways that I don't think anyone can really fully articulate, but it is, I suppose, a sort of autoimmune response to an existential threat, which, truthfully, is simply oblivion. It is the specter of death that awaits us all, and it does something to the soul. It changes the person. I can say, at the very least, there is a consistent thread of behavior for those whose cases have sufficiently advanced. They are not, generally speaking, they are not themselves suicidal people. They are not seeking oblivion. They tend to begin seeking means by which to spread the condition to others. There is a fascination that develops within the void-touched surrounding their affliction. Without a single exception, they without fail are compelled to begin pursuing anything they can about the void, ways to reach it, ways to bring others to it, bring it to others, which is itself, of course, a very serious danger to all that live on the plains. I imagine you are all far too young to have spent any time studying ancient histories, but there was a period of time before the settlement of Vaergose, a period of interplanar conflict, wars on the scale of multiple worlds, devils and elementals assailing the world of the living, of mortal folk like ourselves.
Wait, was this the same era that the coins came from?
Third era?
Yeah, potentially. It could have been around that time, yes.
Do we still have...
I sold mine. I traded mine, but
I think everybody else does.
Yeah.
I have my
If
coins.
you have Electrum on your sheet, you've got them.
Yep.
I will take it out.
Oh.
Interested.
This, I believe, are substantially older than this conflict.
I was wrong.
These are interesting. Not to get distracted, but we should talk about these. We have some time. But yes, no.
I'd just like to do this poor man. It's like, every time I turn around, they say something new, and it's equally weird.
It's fascinating, and I love it. There's a lot to cover.
We're never going to leave.
This time of troubles, I can't say how long it persisted out in the plains before Vaergose was settled. I know it was still ongoing in Illyrio's earlier years. I can't speak to its state nowadays, but there were reports from Illyria prior to their settlement here on the plain of Vaergose regarding the condition of worlds outside the fold of the astral plane, worlds left bare to the ravages of the void. They spoke of great storm clouds that would sweep across the lands. And corrosive as they were to all that lived, there were secondary effects which seemed to vary from plane to plane, and we've never fully been able to explain why this was the case. But we've come to understand that these clouds were referred to as a miasma. They were a side effect of a breach in the firmament on these worlds. A breakdown of the plane so substantial that the void itself was effectively let in. The plane itself was void touched at that juncture. And so you have these terrible storms which could kill thousands with their passage just from contact with this emptiness. It was a very widespread phenomenon by Illyria's chronicles. Very, very widespread. It seems that planes which benefited from the safety of an astral sea, from neighbors, from
elemental planes, fundamental planes. Much more the exception than the rule in the wider cosmos. So we are exceptionally fortunate to be here in this world, in this little corner of the sea. Whatever troubles we may be experiencing here on the ground, it can be much, much worse. But the reason I bring it up is because it is certainly within the nature of the Void Touched, whose condition has grown substantial enough to seek ways to open such breaches in the firmament, ways to reach the void from the surface of the plane. And I am not familiar with any such means to accomplish this. I would not put it past one of sufficient progression in their condition to find these secrets for themselves and put them to work. So, there is certainly a very, very strong, compelling reason to see that our good friend in the next room over there is tended to, cared for, and cured as quickly as possible. Absolutely.
I have two small things.
Yeah.
In a book once, a long time ago actually, I read... Are you familiar with the opening prayer of the Syncretic Conclave?
I am familiar. It's been many years since I spoke it myself, but I am familiar.
I remember it, not perfectly, but I remember a few bits. This world is new, and it may well be our last. Is that prayer in reference to the void and its effects across the planes?
I imagine when the conclave was coming together and that prayer was written, there were enough within the temples, despite Ennegard's efforts to purge Illyria's influence, there were enough within the temples who remembered Illyria's discoveries, who remember the time before the settlement, and I'm sure there was certainly some intent to reference the void in that line. At the same time, of course, I think there is a much more mundane warning about the dangers of conflict amongst ourselves. If we are not careful, if we are poor stewards of our world or fractious rulers of our neighbors, we could well sow the seeds of our own undoing, void or no void. And I think that warrants remembering as well. But I do believe you are probably right, that there is absolutely some coded reference there for those who know what they're looking for.
I remember reading that as a child and getting a little worried, thinking that we only have one place left. Very strange. My other question, and I am 100% thinking about this way too literally, but like, what is the smoke? Like, I mean, is it just nothing? Like, what if I held a bottle over Athos' head when he was belching up smoke? What would be in it? Nothing?
Well,
because there's already kind of nothing in it.
Oh, there's air, isn't it? And space.
We can make bottles that don't have air in them.
Yes, but you can't make a bottle that doesn't have space inside of it.
Then what's happening to the nothing? Where is it going? It seems
It's
to
not
just
going
dissipate
anywhere.
when he breathes it out.
We live on a very well protected material plane. We are suffused with planar energies, thanks to our relationships with the gods, the conjunctions. I'm sure you've seen those dotting the landscapes. Links to other worlds, the realms of the divine, and that link creates a pathway for planar energies to reach us. Our world is very, very well protected, not just by them, but also the fact that we do exist within an astral sea, and that sea itself, obviously, by necessity, creates a membrane of madness and paradox around itself, where it butts up against the void outside. Pockets of nothingness are very quickly restored by the sheer grit and gumption of all that is here. And we are in the very heart of existence here, of all creation. It is a shadow of a distant void we are seeing coming out of him. And it is not an easy thing to comprehend here. Our minds liken it to a cloud, but, on a plane of endless water, I imagine they would probably see it as a current, or perhaps a blot of ink, or something sensible to them, to their eyes, to their minds. We see what we're capable of seeing here, and it is a maddening thing, I think, to imagine utter oblivion and to see it before our eyes. But we make do. Yes, Reese.
So, if I'm somewhat understanding the nature of this properly, there is a piece of the void inside Athos' soul that his soul is slowly being overtaken by, but the soul is still doing its work, creating personality and memories. And Athos did tell us that when he sleeps, he talks to himself, but himself
yes,
with
I
black
recall,
eyes.
yes.
Right. So in my mind, at night when he's breathing out the smoke, that must be some manifestation of this, I guess call it like a void soul or something inside of Athos, breathing out could be, from what I'm gathering is that this affliction ends with the void ultimately taking over the soul, and thus then wanting to spread the void in whichever plane of existence it is at, and taking over in that sense, like breaking it down.
I think you've got the gist of it, certainly, yes. Again, our theory, and I say our, really mine. I can't say I have many peers studying the subject these days, but credit where credit's due to my predecessors. The theory is that this void within the soul creates a space for a second mind to begin developing in sort of the inverted direction, right? Imagine a sphere, yes? The soul is a solid sphere, and at the core of it, there is this more solid, I'm doing a bad job of this, another sphere, the spirit, yes? Solid, that fuels everything that comes out of it, everything that surrounds it, yes? To be void touched is to hollow out that inner sphere, and to begin building another sphere inside the innermost sphere, and it begins to grow in a space that is, God, proper geometry is really not a good model for describing any of this. Point being, the soul is going to do as it is wont to do. It has its function, its purpose, and it will give rise to a being. And generally speaking, it does that in one direction. But the void, I believe, creates a new direction for it to begin building. And so it builds in two directions, and you have this dark mirror of the soul developing within it, which is, again, not itself the void, but it is being very greatly influenced by the presence of the void. And that obviously has very deleterious consequences. But yes, ultimately the objective we have seen in most every case of void touched who are allowed to advance to sufficient severity. You see a merging of the inner mind with the original mind, and the sort of subsuming of the personality into a single chaotic being that is bent on spreading this condition to any whom they are able to.
So correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm just using your models. With the spirit inside of the soul, the void somehow enters into the spirit and then begins to grow a second sort of spirit. So you have two balls inside of the whole of the soul.
Yes.
And those are at war with each other.
Yes.
And ultimately, the void soul will take over, the void spirit will take over the original spirit, and then thus become the warped being.
I question whether it's a proper takeover, but I feel like we might be splitting hairs on that front. It to my mind, if the void were to ever breach the firmament of the spirit, the entire soul would begin to collapse away, as most existing things would in contact with the void. Somehow the void touched reached a sort of, again, an equilibrium. The void never seems to breach the spirit, and yet you have this growing, pervasive, seditious influence from within, to the point that what is left after this condition runs its course is someone unrecognizable to the person who once held that body. Yes.
Yeah, perhaps we're getting a little bit off the topic, but
it's very complex and fascinating.
I'm trying to understand. I guess my question is sort of two parts, but one, has there ever been a record of anyone ever who was void touched being resurrected? Because as it has been described, as morbid as it sounds, would that not be a cure in this context?
So, resurrection, funnily enough, does figure into the traditional treatment for this malady. However, the trick of it is a contested resurrection. You need two forces exerting equal claim on the soul in order to force it to split. And eventually, after running this enough times, you will find yourself a fragment which is uncorrupted by the void's influence, and that fragment can be allowed to persist in the name and personhood of the being that it once belonged to. To your point, however, the trouble of resurrection is that singularly, the act of restoring a soul to its body does nothing for the health of the soul itself.
Right,
it
but...
is simply a restoration of living physiognomy.
Well, no, but I apologize, I'm not trying to be contrarian, but you did say that, and it's very well understood in our world, that when the person dies, their soul is consigned to whichever deity sees fit to take it.
Yes.
And the gods, the conjunction sites in our realm, they protect us from the void.
Yes.
Would sending the soul to a god's domain and letting them give it a clean scrub and then pulling it back not be a solution? It seems like all the pieces are established there. A god can protect us from the void. The gods take domain over a soul when they're dead. And if we bring it back, it just makes sense to me. But I'm not claiming to be...
I disagree. I think...
The gods are not omnipotent. We can start there. They are obviously quite powerful, and as the material plane is concerned, they do have near absolute power to change what they will here, but there are limits to their ability when it comes to the fundamental nature of existence, and obviously non-existence, nothingness, is well outside their purview or ability to influence. The danger comes with attempting to again break open the soul in such a way that one could expose this void. Again, you run the risk of this void eroding the soul entirely in that moment. You also run the risk of potential contamination at that stage, given that you are in the heavenly planes amidst emitting other souls, which could be exposed in that moment of treatment. The larger issue, though, is lacking the proper mechanisms with which one could attempt such an operation. It is genuinely, it is largely regarded as safer for all involved to simply keep the soul contained.
If this is an affliction that even hands-on care from a god can't solve, what hope do mortals have?
We devised the solution ourselves.
I don't think we devised the solution, sir. Sorry. You just... not you, but we just only have a way to split the suffering.
Well, that's why Athos's case is unique in the sense that the source of the void touched is not the usual source of all of these cases. Mr. Lythor has mentioned in the past, the source of this particular instance and of the people at Laramie is due to this sword, or at least this is suspicion of Kilroy. The Ulavok sword is the one that infected Athos. So rather than the whole of the void itself having infected Athos, it's rather one extension of it. Seems like some physical extension of it, and I think that is where the
connection to it. Again, this is where I'm conjecturing, because I don't genuinely know the answer to the question of the alternative solution. But the fact that this form of exposure is even possible, I think, is a significant enough development that there is more to learn about this subject than we realized remained to be learned. And I think it is there that I am placing my hope, because I genuinely, to your point, there truly isn't much hope. with conditions like this. It's not a pretty thing, and it's not an easy thing to fix. And again, the gods would rather contain the suffering and remove the risk of spreading it than attempt something this potentially dangerous.
If the gods took the souls, wouldn't that make all the other souls that they're protecting at risk?
And that's why they separate it and keep it secluded, I think.
Yeah.
That's what Mr. Lythor's getting at. And if
a soul is not well, I'd not say easy. There are ways to contain a soul outside of a body. It is known to magic and has been for a very long time. I dare say it's not easy.
I'm sorry, I feel like I'm stuck on something, but if the thought that I had, the thought experiment I propose is ineffectual for, sounds like a variety of reasons. One of which being not wanting to bring a contaminated soul to the heavens. Then if Athos, God's forbid, were to die on our journey, where would his soul go? The gods don't want it.
I imagine it would join the myriad others wandering the astral. It is a great expanse of thought and memory, and much of it is composed of old soul stuff, as they say. He would simply be adrift. Silver lining, gods forbid the worst should happen to him. If the gods don't want him, I can't imagine any devil will. So he's likely to escape, torment at their hands at the very least, which I think does offer some measure of comfort, small as it may be.
Even if Athos were to pray to one in particular.
I don't know who, if any, would be equipped to best alleviate his suffering in this situation. But I suppose it's not out of the question that, if their attention were properly wrangled, they could be made to listen to a petition for shelter, sequestering. He could
not complete salvation.
Well, I don't know that a god would be comfortable taking on that risk themselves. It is a significant one, and
it sounds like we should just be searching through the store for the sword. The gods are not going to help us in this. We're just conjecturing.
Yes, we're conjecturing.
Safe to say yes. If I can ask a question.
Hoping to understand better.
Is the method you spoke about that was done to save people who were void touched? You mentioned fragmenting the soul, and you said that resurrection also had a hand in this solution, this procedure. Is the procedure just breaking down, killing the soul, and then reviving just parts of it, essentially breaking off pieces that have been infected by the void?
In a manner of speaking, by implementing multiple means of wrangling the soul, a resurrection spell, and a cloning spell, and say a soul cage spell, for example. One could split a soul 3 ways at the time of death, and from there begin resurrecting each one and inspecting for signs of the void's influence on each one. And if it persists, then proceed again until you find a clean fragment. It
sounds like a lot of work and a lot of powerful magic.
It is a lot of magic, and it is a lot of dying and coming back.
Which, to me, also doesn't seem worth it for a god to try and fix and welcome into their realm versus the potential risks of welcoming such a soul into their realm. I think it's...
I certainly would never have thought that I would have come across some solution that nobody's thought of. I more was just trying to understand better why this is the way it is. And I apologize, Mr. Lythor, if my commentary came across as indignation. I think I'm just a little... I struggle to see the hope that you see.
You said yourself you're being pessimistic.
It's understandable. The hope is that I don't know anything about this sort. And what I don't know means that there is room to learn something new. And that opportunity is always a chance to happen upon something profound. So it is perhaps not the greatest hope in the world, but it is not nothing either, by any means. And I think in these sorts of situations, it pays to sustain ourselves with whatever hope we can.
1% of a chance is still 1%, still a chance. Better than zero.
I suppose it is.
Just have to hope that we can find that one.
Well,
I will say it seemed like Kilroy, who talked to us about this back in Asphodel, seemed like he'd been sufficiently instructed on how to deal with the nature of being void touched, to the point where he didn't even mention as much as you did. And when I hinted at it, he was completely clamped up.
It sounds like you've probably been wrestling with this for a while then.
Right. Which leads me to believe that their group at least has, in some manner, a good amount of information as well. Whether it be more than yours, I highly doubt, because I haven't heard of any archmages being in Laramie recently.
Well, if we're not working with Ennegard, we're not likely to advertise our presence, for what it's worth.
Fair.
You're right about that. Who knows, though? They might have found something that we haven't. I mean, Kilroy knew that it was from the sword itself. So they seem to have some sort of lead there. And I'd imagine if we seek them out and work together with them in conjunction with what we've learned from you, Mr. Lythor, we might be able to have a better chance.
Yeah. If you are going to go after the sword, I'd absolutely advise handle it with care, given what we've seen it can do already.
Yeah.
Don't touch it with your hands.
Get a good strong box.
You can look into that.
Yes, I think that is the extent of what I can comfortably share without devolving into mindless conjecture. And I genuinely could go on for hours on the subject, but it is hardly productive given the work that needs to be done. So, that all said, I do hope you all enjoyed breakfast. And for my part, I do have some preparations to make and some spells to cast this morning. After which, I hope I will have some more to share regarding the sword situation specifically. So, by all means, enjoy your time here. If you have any need of anything, I am around. Simply ask, and I will do what I can to avail myself of you. And by all means, help yourselves to anything in the pantry.
Mr. Lythor, I was still hoping we could touch base later this morning, if that's all right.
Yes, absolutely. I did intend to track you down at some point today as well. So that is good. Good. Don't let me forget.
I'll talk to you soon then.
Good. Well, give me a couple of hours and I'll be back out with more information. Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Yes.
So, with that, as Lythor is taking his leave, and you have all been given this bit of news, Athos would probably be making his way out of the bedroom. The group.
So we turn around and Athos has been there the whole time.
Oh no, I hope not. That's gonna.
Good morning, everyone. What did I all miss?
Hi, Athos.
Hi. How'd you sleep?
Hey,
Amazing.
How about let's get some breakfast. Let's leave this. Let's get some breakfast. I need to. My brain is
awkward morning.
Everybody's sitting around Lythor, super stone-faced, serious.
Say anything.
And then Athos just walks up the back and says, "Hello." We're all just like,
Yeah. Good morning, Athos, and I'm off.
yes. Let's get a spot of breakfast.
With that, I think we can probably safely call today's session for the night. That was a lot, but I appreciate y'all bearing with me. The lore is out.
It was fun. I'm down with it.
So, good session, guys.
Lord.
MVP for today.
I'm gonna say Alfie. Yes.
I think Alfie had the most impactful conversation today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right.
Plus, she had the wild magic where she fell in love with Aaron.
Alfie, if you got inspiration, hand it out. If not, enjoy your new inspiration.
Who needs it?
I
do
don't
have.
know if I have it, if I remember right. Let me check.
He does not have.
Yeah, Aaron.
Oh, I feel like I should give it to Aaron because I was torturing him.
You were. He didn't even take the bait.
Rip.
He didn't.
Damn him.
Soon. Maybe. We'll see.
The bait. Yeah, we burned ours.
The conniving asshole that I designed.
Wearing you down.
Quite the ass.
Quite the ass.
I'll stop the stream there. Good game, everybody.
I have a plan for next week.